Hello everybody and welcome back to GKR EMEA 2025 Brawl Stars Circuit. It is phase 2 match day number 6, I believe, and it is the last match day of this round robin phase. I am your host Pentacast, joined by the amazing Sunny Enough, who's right. I keep getting the directions wrong. She's right there. If you haven't seen.
Yes, and you're right there. Nice to be here once again. Thank you for the lovely introduction as well. I'm super excited to be here. It's the last match day. Match day number 6 is the very last chance for our teams to snag spots in the playoffs. So certainly they have to show what they got today. Otherwise, they have no more chances. The top 8 teams overall will make it into the playoffs, and stay tuned for those as well, because we're gonna have some banger matches coming up, not only today but also then.
Yeah, the tournament is broken down into 3 different phases. First one, we had 3 qualifiers and 12 teams managed to qualify for them. Right now we're in phase number 2, which is a double round robin consisting of 3 groups of 4 teams. And we need to get the top 8 teams, which is what we're trying to do right now to get to phase 3, which is a double elimination bracket. At the end of the day, it all comes down to the fact that teams are fighting for this $2,500 prize pool. First place prizes with a $5,000 prize pool, Sunny.
It's a lot of money on the line, and also room and glory, because it's going to be the very first time we ever crown a GKR in Brawl Stars champion. It's the first time they are in Brawl Stars. We love to have them here, and I sure hope that they will also stick around for a bit longer. The playoffs, by the way, are April 8th and 9th, so make sure to mark that in your calendar as well to be ready when it is surely the last 2 days of the GKR, the very last, if you want to catch some action. And talking about action, Panda, we do have a couple of matches today that I certainly looked forward to the whole season.
For sure. I mean, there is one where we have the Titans of EMEA facing off against each other, which I'm really looking forward to. That's the second one. But before we go into that, we have to talk about the sponsor. Smilke is a brand which creates energy drinks and protein shakes for athletes of any kind. They have proudly sponsored GKR 2025 for the EMEA Brawl Stars Circuit and for other tournaments as well. So we thank the sponsor Smilke for their continued support of GKR and their esports initiatives. Not to mention Supercell and all the other affiliates who are working closely with GKR to make this tournament possible.
Without them and many others, this tournament wouldn't be happening today and also for the last couple of weeks. So thank you also for the production, and of course to you, Panda, who's covering this whole show. I'm super excited. Again, it's the very last day. We had some great weeks. It's a bit of a different setup since we have 1 mode per week, which we never had before in Brawl Stars. So it's super lovely to see that they can still come up with new ideas, even though Brawl Stars is celebrating their 5th, 6th birthday very soon.
Yeah, I mean, that just makes me feel old. I'm already a pretty old guy, but then when you tell me that I spent more than 3/4 of a decade playing Brawl Stars, it really puts it in perspective. That means I really love the game, because I haven't kept with the game for so long, except maybe Pokemon, I guess. But I mean, all that to say that it's going to be pretty exciting. We've also got some balance changes which happened last week, which are certainly going to be changing how the meta is played. And I've got a lot of feedback from pro players and people who grind ranked, saying that this meta is much more conducive to competitive play. It is way more free. They know how to draft a little bit better. It's not as much of a shot in the dark and really relying on rock paper scissors as much. So kudos to Adrian and the balancing team to make that possible, I have to say.
By the way, their 7th birthday already coming up in December, so we're gonna look forward to that. Brawl Stars is not the youngest game anymore, and it's still played by so many people that came from playing it just casually. When I was playing it, every time I was just waiting for the boss, honestly, and then coming into esports, playing it competitively. We have super huge tournaments lined up, not only with the BSC but also smaller ones like the GKR. So I'm super excited that we still have these around, and super thankful for not only the sponsors but everyone behind GKR.
Yeah, that's true. We do have some really good matches coming up. The first one is Experian versus Reply Totem followed by Humble versus SK Gaming. Then we have Popera Supermassive versus Reverso Gaming, EDI versus FA Sniggets, Dark Eagles versus LC Esports, and it culminates with Eclipsar Esports versus FA Schnitzel. And it's going to be a long day, but hopefully we have 6 banger matches which all go to set number 3.
I do think we're going to have some very close matches today. As you mentioned before, the second one, you need to stick around for that one. It's going to be Humble versus SK Gaming, the 2 teams that are also playing within the top 8 of the region. Certainly looking forward to that. Those 2 both qualified already through the playoffs, just mathematically through their group, but still, I think both would like to have that top seed. If Humble manages to win today 2-0 against SK Gaming, it could still very well be that they take the first spot in their Group C and therefore get a bit of a better bracket. In Group B and Group A, only 1 team each is qualified so far. The 8 best teams overall are going to qualify, so from every group there's still potential slots open. I'm really looking forward to it. And we also see it now here, Pendo. The very first match, we want to talk about it very soon. Experian NXT versus Reply Totem. Last time those 2 teams faced off against each other, it was a free win from the side of Experience. So unfortunately, we have no clue how those 2 teams face up. Or do we? Reply Totem, certainly 3 names that we know. Angel Boy, Maru and Mori, a very strong team. So I do think they should take that one. But also on the side of NXT, we have some fresh new players that have proven themselves before.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, Reply Totem are sitting pretty at the second place of Group A. A win today will guarantee their spot in the playoffs. But if they lose, they might be ousted by a Reverso side that is hungry to keep their tournament hopes alive, Sunny. But you know what? That's really dependent on whether Reverso can actually beat Popera Supermassive. Experian, on the other hand, are completely out of the tournament, so they have no hopes of coming back. But they could play spoil sport here and put a wrench in the works for Reply Totem, Sunny.
I still think it would be something you want to write down in your Brawl CV, if you want to say so, that you beat no one other than Reply Totem. Last week, they had a pretty devastating loss, I have to say. I did not expect Totem to lose against Popera Supermassive, and this week, it's their redemption arc. They need to win against Experian NXT, otherwise, yeah, there's something seriously wrong with how Reply Totem started into their year, and they need to adapt. I hope they managed to do so within just this 1 week already.
And like just looking back at last week, like you mentioned, it wasn't just a loss to Popera Supermassive. It was such a convincing and devastating loss. Like Popera Supermassive didn't look like they were pressured at all. It was just 4 straight games of just running it down and completely overwhelming Reply Totem. And with this squad, with this lineup, the aggressiveness of Totem is not there. They feel like a team which has been defanged or declawed, so I would like to see them come back and show us how strong they actually are. I know that Angel Boy is like really frustrated with how things are going. I know he's a great player. I would like to see him bounce back from the setback that they are having right now, but it's not looking that great in the recent past, Sunny.
I would love to see all 3 members of Totem come back strong, honestly. For Brawl Cup, the race might be over for them, I think at least. Maybe chat can correct me on that, but I still see them at World Finals. We're going to see, though, later down the line if they manage to do their redemption arc not only in GKR, but also in the long run in bigger other tournaments. Now talking about Experian NXT, though, on the other side, I had Arthur text me last year in September that as soon as he's going to be of age to play competitively, he's going to make it into a monthly final. He's going to make it into GKR, into those big tournaments, and he immediately qualified for the February monthly finals and now also playing in the GKR. They had a bit of an unfortunate race through the GKR, had to give a couple of free wins, and I hope they do manage to play today without any interruptions and can show us what they got even against such a strong team out of such well-known characters like Reply Totem.
Yeah, I still remember on match day number 1 how Experian NXT played, and you were telling me before the stream even started how good Arthur really is, and I just wrote it off. Maybe we don't know much about him, but he really came into his own. So I'm looking forward to seeing great things from this young man, and I'm sure that we will see it in the future. So But, let's get into what we have to talk about, which is the 3 sets, which you're going to see throughout the fixtures for today. It's going to be triple dribble, followed by super beach, followed by pinhole punt. And there is one map here, which we haven't seen in competitive, except for GKR, which is pinhole punt. So you don't really have that much of that many teams scrimming this map in particular, because it hasn't been in the competitive rotation for the BSC. So it is going to be interesting to see how teams bring their strategies to a map like this. Of course, in scenarios such as this, underdog teams tend to do better because of the unpreparedness of the more established teams. The wildcard factor really plays a big role here, Sunny.
I certainly think so. I like all 3 of those maps. Super Beach was one of the first maps I believe we had in the competitive map pool. A lot of BMAX comps. I'm looking forward to getting to know the new meta with all of you today, since we just recently had 6 hypercharges coming to the game that mixed up the meta once again. So I'm really looking forward if maybe now we don't see that much BMAX here or something very new. I heard Chester, Sams and Busters hypercharges are especially strong here, Benno.
Yeah, I mean, they had to have a emergency nerf for how strong the Chester hypercharge is. And Buster is also really great here. It's going to be interesting to see how all of these play out as options. I also noticed that Finks, at least in terms of the scrim data of the recent past, Finks has been used quite a lot in the recent past. So I'm not going to be surprised if it's being picked up here. Certain other brawlers that we do see being picked up here are something like Chester, Barry, maybe a B for the mid, but I really like these thrower options like Barry and Juju and also Barley. If you go with a max, you can also pair it with a tank to really give you a lot more lethality with that composition.
By the way, just a small minor correction, Panda. We do have all 3 of those maps actually in the BSC map pool as of March. We'll see if they're going to be the same ones for April as well. Those monthly finals only come up at the end of the month. So we'll see if they're going to stick around. But for now, those teams have all been scrimming these maps, especially the ones that have been playing also in the BSC. So our first 2 both did play in the March monthly finals. So I would assume they know exactly what they want to pick here. Wouldn't it be for the hypercharges that got added? As I talked before about it, they got introduced right after the last weekend of the monthly finals, so quite recently, and now we'll see if those brawlers were able to completely change the meta.
Certainly so. I think we're just waiting on the teams to get together, and then we will go into our draft here, Sunny. Super Beach as well. We've seen Hank getting a huge nerf with a hypercharge. You don't get it as fast, and it's not as lethal because of the homing being nerfed quite considerably. So not only will the pick rate of Hank go down as a result, even the win rate of Hank when it is picked is going to go down drastically so.
Nice overview we have here over the map. As you mentioned before, Juju is a brawler that you can play here. Any thrower probably has not a better map in the current map pool to play in Brawl Ball, at least. Many walls there in the mids that you also can't break up, of course, unless you head into overtime. So yeah, we'll see. I do expect some Buster or Sam action here as well. 2 tanks that have been very strong in previous metas in Brawl Ball. Now, both not the strongest until they receive their hypercharge, but that's something we see quite often, Panda, that a brawler makes it into S or maybe A tier immediately as soon as they receive their hypercharge.
Yeah, I mean, the hypercharges are a bit contested. I guess a lot of people feel like it centralizes the brawler specifically to the hypercharge, where you can't really use it if it's not with the hypercharge. But I think we've reached the point where we have so many brawlers in Brawl Stars with the hypercharges, more brawlers that have hypercharges than brawlers that don't have them. So I think that expectations of a brawler getting a hypercharge, catapulting them from like maybe F or D tier to S or maybe A, makes a little bit of sense here. Anyway, we're gonna go in our draft. We have our bands here: Chester, Janet, Poco, Lou, Meeple, and Blank. I'm guessing it's the B band. I'm not sure, or if it's the B first pick. Let's see.
We're gonna see later. B, you could play her here. I don't feel like she's the strongest brawler, so I agree with you. that she might be banned out here. First pick goes to Reply Totem in that case. We're gonna see along the lines. Mo is gonna be the first pick. Very interesting here, Panda. We didn't see a Mo in quite some time.
Yes, Mo is something that is resurging back in the meta. I saw Spen talk about it a lot in his streams when he was pushing in pro tier in ranked, and also across the social media sphere. A lot of people like Mo again. It's just so easy to aim, get your shots in, get your super in, just, you know, dive or dive out, dive in or dive out, and get a lot of assassin abilities and just keep a lot of control. And a map like this with enough walls that it does kind of make you and force you to hide behind them, Mo's shots just give you so much value there, Sunny.
Mo definitely now one of the best brawlers you can have. Reply Totem values that brawler as well, picks him up as their first pick here. We actually do have confirmed now that B was the first pick of Xperion NXT coming into this draft. Carl and Larry are going to round up their comp, and now Reply Totem only has one more brawler left to pick. I do assume the banned out brawler was probably Finks, so maybe we don't have a graphic for that yet. Could be. Still quite a new brawler. And Finks is now, with the most recent balance changes, also a very valuable option. Ollie's going to be the last pick here for Reply Totem. Panda, do we like that?
The Ollie, I think that it's going to be great for something like a Carl. Like a Carl can go in with a flying hook, or maybe use the super, and the Ollie's just going to shut it down. We're going to go into our game, the first one between NXT and Reply Totem, and this time it seems like NXT have a little bit of control here in the mid, though. It's too early to say how this one's going to be going. I like the composition from both these teams here, Sunny, though I like the NXT one a little bit more.
Yeah, I go with you here. I think NXT has a very well-rounded comp here with the throw-in mid, with the long-range B on the right-hand side. And even though Ollie was the last pick here for Reply Totem, he seems to struggle a tad bit against this B on the right-hand side. Almost falls. Angel Boy falls as well. It's a 2v2 now. We have the Mo and the Ollie against the B and Larry. So far, they were able to prevent that goal from happening, but that was a great attack already from Reply Totem.
Map is so cagey that it really forces stalemate situations to happen, so you don't really see teams being able to budge themselves out of possible spawn trap situations. Angel Boy is just going to go in here trying to get a cheeky goal, and he gets the super off. Can he get the stun off on a Tex? He does manage to get the kill on Tex, but Arthur is there to clear the ball up on the other side. Amos gets the kill onto Mori, but Maru's still alive, collecting the ball, but he's certainly going to be falling to Amos's pickaxe.
So far, so good for Reply Totem. Again and again, they managed to sneak up and try to attack, but NXT has a hypercharge on the B now, a super on Carl, and so far they were able to defend. So not a single goal has happened in this round so far. We have some heals coming in from Mori. Angel Boy looking into being the aggressor here, but gets immediately shot down by Arthur once again. This guy's just tapping on that B.
It seems like he has aimbot, and now we see Tex going in quite aggressively. Mori is left in the back lines here, and it seems like the entirety of Totem is pinched back in their spawn. And this is what I was saying, Sunny. Totem doesn't look like prime Totem that we're used to, the aggressive team, and it's just not looking that great for them. Mari, though, has a super and could make some kind of offensive opportunity and open up the path, and they go in together, both Angel Boy and Maru. Not able to find a kill, though. Angel Boy is going to be very low. There's already a kill onto Mori. Maru is going to be very low as well, and Maru falls. It's a complete team wipe. Arthur has the ball. They have an opportunity to get a goal, and they managed to get it with 4 seconds on the clock. And that is going to be Xperion NXT taking game number 1 against Totem, Sunny.
With only 5 seconds left on the clock, NXT is able to slot that one in, taking this first game already. That is something I definitely not expected from them today, but they are indeed a team that you have to look out for, a team that can make it even against the strongest teams in the region. Reply Totem on the other side, I love to see that engagement where Maru and Angel Boy just perfectly communicated, engaged at the exactly same time, but NXT was so ready for that. Even though they had 2 tanks coming up against them, they were still able to shut them down.
Indeed, and now we see Angel Boy going into Arthur. This time he gets the better of him in that interaction, gets the kill as well. Amos and Tex are been pushed back, and we haven't seen Totem in such a dominating position before. Amos goes in for the super, uses the heat ejector as well, trying to get some value and push back the opponents, which he does manage to do. And with another shot from Amos and Mori, that's going to be enough. But Maru gets another trade here, but he gets taken down nonetheless. Angel Boy going in on a Tex. He does manage to get the kill, possibly. He does, but he falls by the wayside as well.
Mari, for now, alone defending. Maru coming out of spawn. Together they managed to take down Arthur. Totem, of course, needs to get this game, otherwise this first Brawl Ball set goes already the way of NXT here. There's 3 young players that have caused quite an upset in this region. Tex for now just cornering the ball. They seem to wanting to play for overtime once again. Last round they already played the long game. They do have a B. They look very strong for overtime. Did manage to slot it in the last 5 seconds, but I do like the strat that they're just playing as a line. They're just slowly moving up very steadily. No one is overextending.
Super, as is Angel Boy, we might see some kind of combo play coming in here, but the the super being used by Arthur. Can he manage to get the kill though? He does manage to get the kill on Angel Boy, and all that utility has been obviated from the side of Reply Totem. There is a super from Maru, but he gets taken out by Amos, and it's a lopsided situation where we have NXT on the bottom left and Totem on the top right, but Totem has been getting bested by NXT repeatedly and often. Unfortunately, again, Angel Boy falls, and now it's just up to the other two, Maru and Mori, to pick up the slack, Sunny.
Little reminder here as well, Reply Totem can still make it to the playoffs, NXT can't. So if they win this one today, they just have proved themselves to be a very strong team. They can win even against Reply Totem, but this win would be so much more important for Reply Totem.
Indeed, this is also a possibility for them not to make it to the playoffs, so they really need this win here. Unfortunately, that's not going to be the case, as they are going to be going into overtime. Angel Boy gets 1 kill onto Arthur. Amos has the ball. He's going to clear it, but a kill on Angel Boy is going to be huge, and just like that, NXT are able to breathe a sigh of relief as they regain control of this mid.
Waste the catch-up from Amos, but he's going to come out of spawn and can help Arthur at least. We have 2 members of Totem ready with a hypercharge and an ult. Mari now healing up his teammates. They can go in aggressively now. That's their opening. That's their possibility to maybe score this one, but they get cleared again. Arthur's still standing. Tex as well. What is going on here, Panda?
It's crazy. They get the kill on Angel Boy as well. Arthur has his hypercharge. He goes for it. There is a super by Tex. He goes.
I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. Honestly, I'm so surprised. At the same time, I do know that Experian has what it takes to win those matches. They kicked out Heretics out of the March Monthly finals. In the monthly qualifiers, they won against them 3-2 to then make it into the monthly finals. So they are able to beat those strong teams. What I didn't expect, though, is to see them take that first set seemingly with ease. Every time we saw an engagement from Totem, they immediately shut them down. Definitely was a draft a bit sided towards NXT as well, but they also just played it so well.
I see how that is. Apparently there were some issues with my mic when I was screaming. I apologize. I have fixed it now, I guess. So yeah, but anyway, that was a great set from the side of NXT. Very, I guess I didn't really expect it as much, but you know, I think you take those dubs when you get them, and we're going to move on to set number 2. It's time for Reply Totem to really refactor and figure out what went wrong in set number 1 as they move on to set number 2 to figure out how to play around this NXT side, which looks very crisp and very clean right now, Sonny.
Let's see if they can take this one again. We already saw them pick a B in the first round. I wouldn't be surprised if they did it once again, especially on a map like Super Beach. I talked about it before, how strong a B can be on such a map. And Arthur, I do think, is one of the best long-range brawlers players that we have in the game. So it would definitely make sense here. For Totem, I did like their approach here. I feel like they had a decent comp. Try to mow, you talked about it. Pretty good, pretty decent brawler to pick up right now. The Ollie is still in a pretty decent spot, but maybe they need something to help those two aggressors engage a bit quicker. With the Barley, they did have the heals passively before they were even able to engage, but nothing after that. Maybe a Poco, maybe a Byron, I don't know.
Yeah, and if you do face very tanky compositions, you could opt for something like a Lou, maybe an Ollie, but we see Ollie being banned out along with Chester and Finks and Poco and Lou and Meeple. So it is nice to see Finks in the meta now. I mean, we didn't see it the entirety of the last month, and I think that after the balance changes, it's given more prominence to certain brawlers that you may not have considered as an opportunity. So it is good to see the meta shifting and changing and be more diverse and dynamic at the same time. We have our first pick. It is going to be the B. Let's see what Reply Totem decide to reply with. Oh, they're gonna stew? Nice.
I do like a good stew. Still in a good spot, even though the balance changes have hurt him a little bit, I feel. At least his gadget has a higher... you need to wait a bit more seconds to get it back. And Carl, now another aggressor. We saw him on the side of Experian the last round. Definitely a very strong brawler. Yeah, a decent option. Received his hypercharge in the last update, not in the most recent one. Again, no surprises on the side of Experian here. They're gonna go with B, as I mentioned. They do have Arthur in their team, so that makes a lot of sense. And especially on Super Beach, it's gonna be a very good pick here. Frank now to directly address the Carl, I assume. We can knock him out of his ult. Primo, double tank B. I was just talking about how Totem maybe needs something to heal their tanks, and now Experian, yeah, that's what Totem had in the last round, basically.
Yeah. Oh, they go for Shelly. I mean, it kind of makes sense considering the opposition that they're up against. I thought it wouldn't be a Primo. I thought it would be a Barry. Barry's open. This is a map with a lot of walls. I feel like that would have been a perfectly good brawler. But now they're going for all aggression with a little bit of control in the mid. So B is basically the fulcrum on what this composition really depends on for NXT. As we go into game number 1 of the second set, it is still very, very much Totem's game here if they can manage to get back here, Sunny.
And with that, we already have the first goal happening. Reply Totem with the first goal today overall, and they can still take this one, can turn it around and make it into set 3 if they only win this one. Now it's going to be NXT moving up the map, getting rid of Angeboy on the right side. Maru's still standing there. He's the man. They picked Shelly last to help them out of those situations, but he's going down. Angeboy, the last man standing, can't defend this one. NXT equalizes the score.
Yeah, Angel Boy has a hypercharge. He goes for it, uses the heat ejector. Amos is going to be fallen. And now we have Maru and Mori also aggressing here. Maru has a hypercharge and a super. He uses it, bops it. The left side is open. He tries to slide it in, Mori, but doesn't find the mark here. Arthur is able to clean up the ball, maybe, but he's a bit too gingerly over there. He should have probably cleared it earlier, but it's okay. They can breathe a sigh of relief here with a kill onto Maru as well. A lot of the tension has been removed from the situation, Sunny.
Arthur engaging here. I was hyping him up as the B player, and now Tex is on the B, by the way. Maru, it was the perfect pick from Reply Totem. They needed something to address those two tanks, but they don't really have Shelly with a lot of DPS here. The Carl, of course, can do something, as he has his hypercharge now, and that's going to be an engage from Totem.
Angel Boy goes in and gets taken out, but Arthur also falls by the wayside. Tex is going to use his super to reduce a little bit of the aggression. The Maru is able to find the mark here. He's able to take Tex down along with the help of Mori. He is going to be low though, and there is a hypercharge pop by Arthur. He goes in with a Hail Mary play, but doesn't come out on top with Angel Boy on fire. It's not looking that great for Reply Totem, but they managed to score it nonetheless. Oh my god.
With that, we have Reply Totem coming back, to live another day here. Let's see if they can actually turn things around here and prolong into set 3. They need to take just this one more game off the hands of NXT, and they would have equalized the score overall as well. We see Experian now on their side. Some adjustments are made. Maybe the comp doesn't work the way they intended to. Maybe they need to switch up their strats a little bit. We get thrown into the game here, almost just walking up. They immediately outplayed Maru, it seems. Angel Boy was taken out.
That was crazy.
Sad that we missed the start there, but that was still a very interesting scene to watch.
I was insane. They just went up, held W, walked forward, and didn't give a damn. A kill onto Mario is going to be there by Arthur, and there's another kill onto Angel Boy. Now Mario's the last one alive on his team. He gets suplex, and that's going to be gold. That's crazy.
Match point already for Experian NXT. We are in a best of 3 overall, so if they manage to win those 2 games, they would get one of their first wins this season because they didn't play all of their match days, but it would be such an important one against Reply Totem. Let's see, heading into game number 3 here, Totem needs this round to still prolong, to still live in the playoffs.
You see, as Amos goes in on the left-hand side, he is going to be taken down by Angel Boy. That is unfortunate for him. And the ball is going to be kept by Mori. They want to keep it slow. They don't want to go all the way forward. As Angel Boy goes in with his super, tries to get the kill on Amos, and is able to find it nonetheless.
Ball gets passed to Totem's side for now. Arthur and Angel Boy have a little 1v1 in the corner. Arthur wins that one. Angel Boy's going to be coming out of spawn any second now, though. Back and ready to approach a potential goal attempt for them now. They have a hypercharge on Collar. They have the ults ready on both the other brawlers. Looking into getting the takedown onto Amos now. It's a 3v2. Totem has to engage now. Hypercharge ready on the Shelly as well. Moving up here. Texas low. That could be a goal here.
It's a golden opportunity for Maru here if he keeps it, and he does manage to keep his super along with the hypercharge. So they're going to have it for the next engage. Very well done by the side of Reply Totem. They might just be able to come back in this one, but they're going to be hypercharges popped all the way around by Reply Totem to keep them at bay. Amos is going to go down. Angel Boy gets a kill on Arthur. Ball's going to be passed by Mori. Angel Boy should be able to get this one in, and he does manage to just walk this one in ever so slowly and ensure that this set goes to Reply Totem, keeping their hopes alive for set number 3.
You said it right here. They can still hope to make it into the playoffs and to take that win over Experian NXT, but they're certainly not making it easy for them. We see Arthur here. Yeah, they look pretty certain about themselves. I feel like they had good drafts today. They know what they're doing. And Totem, the ones that should win this one on paper, really, are struggling a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as clean as it should be. I mean, when you think about Reply Totem, you expect the clean plays, you expect the pop-off plays. So when it doesn't happen, you're a little bit, antsy about it. Hopefully, though, we see the rust coming off and them getting primed for set number 3, which is Pinhole Punt. And you did mention, rightfully so, that in March, I believe, Pinhole Punt came back into the meta, so into the competitive map rotation. So it is going to be interesting to see how this one plays out, especially since it might be in the monthly finals and in the monthly qualifiers as well. So this is going to be prime scrimming, I guess, or opportunities for Experian and Reply Totem to really understand how this one is going forward.
Yeah, for Experian, this is basically just a very, very good scrim because they can't make it into the playoffs anymore, but they can still take this W today, of course. Totem on the other side. Coming into this year, when I heard those 3 names, I thought Totem would be that team to look out for. I thought at this point in the year, we would have 2 monthly final winners and both would be Reply Totem.
That is certainly a statement. I remember way back in the day, when Stamina came to EU, they picked up a lot of the big name superstar ensembles and they brought them together, and it was just a bunch of superstars, but they weren't able to execute at the level which was expected of them. So sometimes it's not about having the best players on paper, it's about just being able to communicate together and work together as a team. If we think back to Craze Clan in 2021, which is the erstwhile organization for a lot of the players who are currently with Foot Esports, you realize that at that point, they weren't the best players in EMEA. They were a team which was really grounded on teamwork and communication and synergy. And with that team, they were able to build up and get mechanically good enough that they were able to compete at the biggest level and win the World Finals. So what I mean to say is that it's not always about the big names. It's always about how good you play together as a team.
Very true. You can put the 3 strongest players in the world together they wouldn't probably all be from the same region, therefore not understand each other and not win the World Finals after all. It also always depends on the meta, I feel. Some teams we have seen in the past just really strive on those tank-heavy metas. Others are a bit better when it's all about control. Especially, for example, talking about SK here, just cornering the ball, playing the long range, long game. It's just their strat. It's always been, and they seem to be doing so well whenever this is the meta, this is in trend. Yeah, for Totem, I believe we need a meta that is just heavily based around Poké Double Tank again, which, funnily enough, we had this meta last month, but Poké was just always banned out, as he is now.
It's true. We're going to go into our draft here for Pinhole Punt. This is set number 3. Both teams have taken a set from each other. And it's going to come down to this one to see who is going to be the winner for the first fixture of the day. First pick up is going to be Lou. And seeing our bans, we have Meeple with a double ban. That's going to open up one more non-ban opportunity, along with the fact that the B is also banned out twice. So we have 2 extra brawlers that could possibly be brought out here for both Experience and Reply Totem to use. So you might have a little bit more flexibility in compositions here, Sunny.
Let's see, B banned out on both sides. She was just too strong in the hands of Experience, no matter who played her. We have the Stu now on the side of the young players here. Blue team, Lou on the side of Reply Totem. He has been coming back into the meta quite heftily. One of the most picked and banned brawlers in EMEA region, at least. Second pick for Experience. I don't know if you would play a thrower here. Probably this is just a map where you want some area control, some area damage, such as Chester. A new hypercharge panda.
That's I mean, Buster, here we go, new hypercharge as well. It's across the board. I do like this Buster pick. It's gonna de-incentivize something like a Frank coming out from the other team. But the Chester, I think, is also a pretty solid pick all around, especially with that hypercharge. It's mostly like a win button. Like, you hit purple button and you win. Mo coming out makes so much sense in a map like this. Very cagey, a lot of grass, lots of boxes and walls. Mo is just so good in maps like this. Janet's going to be coming out last for Experience and NXT. And with the drop the base, you get complete scouting up the mid. So I like this one.
I don't mind either comp, honestly. Both have the stable brawler with the Lou, with the Janet on the side of Experience and NXT, and then 2 brawlers that can go a bit aggressively. We saw this comp before for Reply Totem, just not the Buster, but also Tank paired with Mo. Let's see if it works out better for them this round 3. They need this win to still make it into the playoffs here. Maru manages to get a takedown on the right-hand side, slots that one in with a super very well placed here. It was such a close match between him and Amos, I believe. It was really just a very close 1v1. He won, and through that, they got the goal.
Really fast from Reply Totem. They are not holding back. They're firing off all cylinders. Mari gets a kill on Amos. Arthur trying to neutralize Mari, not able to do so. Angel Boy gets a kill on attacks, and that is another goal within 35 seconds. Reply Totem already getting this win and are now match point, Sunny.
I do love this too. At the same time, it really just seems like Experience doesn't have the DPS they need to get rid of that totem comp. They're just running over them. The Lu didn't even really need a super, and they just slotted it in the first few seconds. Let's see if we're going to see Totem come out of the gate swinging once again, if they can take this match overall. Arthur this time around playing it a bit more aggressively. Tex on the right-hand side. They did do some adjustments. Janet now playing on the left-hand side against Mo instead of the Buster. That's a wise choice, I believe.
They're playing it a little bit more aggressive, trying to move up a little bit more, with Totem being a bit more reserved. I don't know how well this strategy is going to be playing out, as Amos is going to take flight. We already see Mar going down. Now Mar is going to be falling as well. Angel Boy, the last one on his team. It's not going to be enough. He's able to get it away. That is crazy from Reply Totem, as Angel Boy have given them a little bit of breathing room here, Sunny.
We have Totem coming back out of spawn now, though. Maru just looking into walking it through. It seems Tex is there to shut him down. And we have mid control once again from NXT. They're playing it a lot more aggressively, and it seemed to work. They especially put the Chester on Buster duty. Now he just doesn't let him walk through. Now Totem is switching, and you see the reaction of NXT. Chester immediately switching to the right-hand side. They're so ready for that.
The hypercharge coming in from Maru. That's going to allow Mori to move up as well. They aren't able to get into position to actually use that the distance that they made up. But Maru with another super. He gets taken out by Tex nonetheless. Angel Boy is going to go for Arthur, but he is very low. 20 HP to his name. And now we see Tex going in with the hypercharge. The wall break going to be there. And that is Amos able to slot this in. Perfect teamwork, perfect synergy. And that is NXT 1 up.
Yeah, Angel Boy staying alive there in the left bottom side. Probably if he would have went down, he would have been coming back in time to help his teammates. That would have maybe been better. With a hypercharge coming out of Mari. If he needs it, he doesn't. Angel Boy just rushes through, Tex falls. And with that, Totem equalizes the score with a 1-1 now with match point Totem.
Amazing reply from Totem here. 25 seconds left in regulation as the time winds down. Maru isn't close to the super just yet. He gets the kill. There is a hypercharge being popped by Mori. He could go for the stun. He goes for it onto Tex. Tex is stunned out. They go for the goal. And just like that, reply Totem. Get the dub. They get the win. It is done. It is dusted. It is Totem on top.
Congratulations to Totem. You see it in Mori's face. He isn't too happy with their performance today. They did win in the end, which I do believe you can be happy about, Mori. Please give us a smile here. But yeah, they would have probably loved to have a 2-0 today to just be back as strong as we all expected them to be coming into this year. But for now, I think that basically means they're qualified for the playoffs. So double congratulations for them, not only winning today, but also seeing you again on April 8th and 9th.
Congratulations to Reply Totem, as they have confirmed their spot at the playoffs now, and it is not up to debate anymore. I think Reverso is out, so congratulations to them. Commiserations to Experian NXT, but it just goes to show how good this team actually is, Sonny. And we have a 1-2 scoreline. The first game was already a banger. We have possibly the most anticipated game of this round robin group 2, phase number 2 happening up next. It's going to be SK Gaming versus Humble, and I'm quite excited for this, but how are you feeling about it, Sunny?
I was waiting for this one for a long time already. The two giants faced off already on day 1 of this season, and SK took it in a very close battle, 2-1. So I don't expect anything else than a 2-1 happening today. We're gonna see after the break in which direction it will go.
See you guys in 3 minutes. 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the EMEA 2025 GKR Brawl Stars circuit. I keep on tossing this word salad because I get confused, but I am once again, nonetheless, your host, Panicast, Code Pan, joined by the amazing Sunny, Code Sun, in the Brawl Stars shop. Oh, I got it right. I pointed the right direction this time. So make sure you guys use Code Pan and Code Sun because I believe the new Brawl Pass comes out in a few hours. So maybe you might be interested in using that, and it'll help us a lot. Anyway, going back to what you had to say, Sunny. I'm sorry I cut you off.
Oh, good. I just realized now that it actually says Code Sun and Code Pan here. Usually I'm just used to be called Sunny, but for today I'm going to be Code Sun, I guess. So thank you so much once again for the shout out. We already got a little teaser for you before we came in. We saw SK versus Humble is up next, and it's a matchup I've been looking forward to all season long. It was a very hard-fought battle last time, 2-1 overall for the side of SK Gaming, and now Humble can take their revenge and could still potentially make it for the top 1 seed in their group.
That's true. I mean, these are the Titans of Group C. They're going to head-to-head for a final time in the second phase. SK Gaming have won all of their games in the group stage, while Humble have done the same, except that they've lost to SK Gaming. So it's a story between settling scores or asserting dominance. The question is, who comes out on top here, Sunny?
The funniest thing to me is that SK didn't even drop a single set to anyone apart from Humble and Snickets, the bottom of their group. Snickets, unfortunately, they didn't win a single game, a single match, but they did manage to sneak away 1 set of SK Gaming. I think that's an applause worthy already.
I mean, it was unexpected. I almost felt like Snickets would have won the entire thing. I was kind of rooting for it because you always like those underdog stories. So it was a little bit unfortunate that Snickets didn't win, but SK Gaming, I'm sure, are happy that they kept their undefeated streak alive, you know?
Definitely true. We're gonna head into Triple Dribble as our first map once again. We already have seen it from Totem versus Experian. We saw some B action. We saw a Mo come out of Reply Totem. Now I'm eager to see what those 2 teams are gonna show us next, because from all the teams that are gonna be playing today, SK and Humble should know best what the current meta is all about. They want to make a run for the next monthly finals again, at least, and they should be screaming quite heftily at the moment because we have a meta switch once again. We had a huge balance change, plus 6 hypercharges made it into the game, and we see Reply Totem and Experian NXT actually have a similar idea. Finks is banned out, as well as Meeple B banned out once again, so those seem to be really the strongest brawlers in the current meta, at least in Brawl Ball.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it just seems like the meta is shaping up to be like that. And with Carl being picked up first, I think it's a really good pick because Carl is just great for cross-lane support. His pickaxe makes it hard for you to dodge around walls as well. And with the heat ejector, you get pushed back if you happen to take even 1 lick of damage because of the damage over time. So Carl, it's a good common sense early pick here. I like the bans as well. These are usually the offenders for centralizing the meta a lot. So with them being out of the equation, you do open up a lot more opportunities. Always going to be picked up by SK Gaming. I like this Ollie pick. If used right, you can shut down the Carl completely, especially when it has a hypercharge. It's also great for shutting down tank oppositions as well. So the Poco, along with that, gives you a lot more synergy, and it opens up SK Gaming to run another possible tank if they want to do that, or they could opt for something like a Max. With Jackie coming out from Humble, I think that might be a different strategy coming, Sunny.
I mean, interesting picks here all over. If we just look at the Carl and the Ollie for a second, we had Experian NXT going with the Carl last round, and then Ollie together with Mo picked up by Reply Totem. Now with the Ollie again, I did say Reply Totem needed something to heal their tanks. Maybe a Poco, but not a Barley. And look what SK Gaming has done. Good job, boys.
You see Juju coming out last for Humble. I like this Juju. With the grass, you obviously can shoot further away, and once you have the Gregory down, it's going to slow down opposition. So Juju probably one of the better brawlers in the specific artillery zone, which allows it to be centralizing the meta. We could possibly see a Barry coming out, but I think that we're going to get a lot more offensive strategies coming in from SK Gaming.
The last pick still open. It's going to be a Frank. So they'd really go with that poker double tank. Just when I was talking about how SK are the ones to usually play a bit more for the long game, slow, maybe poker double tank would be a good meta for reply totem. Now they decided to prove me wrong. I honestly like that. So I do like that comp from SK Gaming. We do have Jackie that could go against this HP heavy comp from SK Gaming. Carl as well has a decent DPS output with heat ejector plus his hypercharge now. I don't know if it's going to be enough though. I don't see the DPS that Humble might need to go up against this HP comp.
And now we already see OP going up against Semantic. It's going to be a battle of the tanks with OP coming out on top. On the right, we see Boss going up against Joker. Joker does manage to connect his super. Ooh, the Yoshi super does clean him up, and Boss goes down by the wayside with Luki finding a trade on the Joker, and that is going to be huge as OP decides to break the walls here. I think that's going to give a little bit more viability and usability considering the compositions that they're going up against and the range that they have. Semantic though gets a kill on OP. That's going to be huge as now Boss has a hypercharge, going to pop it, going to use it. Yoshi has a hypercharge of his own, gets a shield up to Frank. Now it's up to OP to keep the game going, but the stun is enough, the pull is enough, and that's going to be Humble taking the first goal.
Okay, I guess to take it back, Humble indeed has the DPS they need to get rid of OP and Joker here on the two tanks. Yoshi trying to defend here alone. OP doesn't hit the stun. This could already be the 2-0 here. Smantek, I don't know if he could have just walked it in there. Maybe. He doesn't manage to get the second goal, but they're still in a comfortable lead here. 1-0 up. And SK doesn't really look like they are able to cross even the midline.
This is what I'm saying. Joker actually used that perfectly, but Boss just had too much of damage, and that's going to be enough. They're able to just walk it in. That's going to be Humble taking the first game quite comfortably. I feel like SK Gaming weren't even pressuring them all the way back to their own spawn. It is Humble in the driver's seat very much in this fixture, Sonny.
It really does seem like Poker Double Tank is not as viable anymore in the current meta, at least not as in like 2023, 24 meta. In summer especially, Primo, everywhere, it was horror. Anyways, Humble is just rushing through again. Both of the tanks are gone. Yoshi doesn't have the DPS to really get rid of it. And Boss even styled on OP there. OP decides to break the walls. OP, you shouldn't have done that there. Boss slots it in. He would have probably slotted it in anyways. OP gets taken care of once again. Boss has an ult ready. Joker gets healed by Yoshi. Both of them still alive, but with Luki moving up as well, this could already be the second goal. Doesn't happen for now. OP, another ult that just opens up the wall instead of hitting any of the opponents.
Yeah, I feel like if the ball was passed to Luki in that situation, that might have been goal there. As Joker uses super, not able to get much value out of it. That hypercharge being used by Semantic. It doesn't matter. The pull.
Oh my god.
Boston scored in, and that is going to be game number 2. And just like that, Humble are up 1-0 in the set score, Sonny.
That was dominant display from Humble, that they not only know the draft already, but they can also play those comps. They styled on SK Gaming in this one. Really interesting to see here. Map number 1 is already down, and now we move on to Super Beach. Both of those teams could still very well take it. I think they're very evenly matched. So far, more often than not, SK Gaming has won over Humble this year so far. Maybe today's the day where Humble can turn things around. It really all just comes down to who has a better understanding of the current draft within just 4 days, or just a couple of days where they had time to adapt to it.
Yeah, I mean, Humble was looking really strong with that one. I honestly, I felt like the draft was for the side of SK Gaming, but Humble were able to come out on top. I like the way Boss synergized with Semantic. You had a lot of times where Semantic was able to force SK Gaming to get off their strategy. The one breakaway where he used his gadget to walk up and forced OP to use his super to actually get him, but he dodged that, so OP had to use his gadget to pull him, and he dodged that as well. So I mean, he was just playing distractions so often that they were so focused on Semantic that they forgot the rest of the plot. So SK Gaming really need to be more mindful about how they're playing it as they go into the second set, Sunny.
I just know I see Semantic online on Moko like 24/7. This guy's already on level 60 or more. I wonder when he had time to learn the draft, to do the scrims necessary to really know what the current meta is all about. But yeah, that's why he's a pro, I guess. He just knows what he does. We're heading into Super Beach now. Let's see if Poké Double Tank is going to be picked up against. I feel like this was just proof to us that it's not a viable threat in this current meta.
Yeah, I mean, talking about Semantic's Moko obsession, he is, I believe, level 60 at Elite Hunter. He's finished all of his Moko Elite projects. He's finished all the dojos, all of the PvPs. He's done every single bit of content that existed in Moko. And yesterday, I believe, at the start of yesterday, he was level 1 Elite Hunter. So this guy has been grinding nonstop for like 24 to 48 hours. It's crazy how he still has such a good handle on the meta, considering the amount of time that he's not been playing Brawl Stars.
We're heading into the draft now. We have a pretty similar bans once again. B is going to be banned out. I've hyped her pretty badly before, how strong she is in Super Beach, or always was, and the pros seem to agree with me here. We now also have cameras from OP coming in. That's lovely to see. Olilu banned out. Meeple is left open, and of course is going to be picked up by Humble here. So far, every single round Meeple has been banned, also in the previous match, so it must be a really good brawler. And SK, I don't know what to tell you. They're deciding to go with Poké again. Maybe they pair it with only one tank this time and pick a long-range brawler as their second option. But I just hope they're not coming in with the Poké Double Tank again if it didn't work out the first round.
Yeah, Semantic wants us to use code Mantic. I guess Buddy needs to know. Buddy has to know that his whole cam isn't up there.
Unbelievable. Sneakily advertised his code here.
No, but for sure, use code Semantic. He definitely deserves it. He's been grinding the content scene, so make sure you use code Semantic. Do not use code Spend. Oh, wait, no, I was kidding. Use code Spend. Use any creator code. That's going to help everybody out. Anyway, we're going to go back into our draft here. In response to the poke will be picked up by SK Gaming, Humble responded with both Meeple and Ash, and I really think both of these brawlers are certainly great options here. Meeple, you can put down the mentions of Meeple, shut people down, force them into lanes which they may not want, force lane misalignments. And if you're hiding behind the wall, the super of Meeple just catches you off guard.
We do have an adaptation from the side of SK Gaming, picking up Poké, one tank, and Juju. I do like that a bit better than the Poké level tank once again. On the side of Humble, last pick now. Is it going to be a thrower, just like the side of SK Gaming? Yes, it is. We have Dynamike. Now, that's an interesting pick. I see it very often unranked. I didn't see it in competitive for a while.
I have to mention that code SPEN, not to use it was a joke, so make sure you use code SPEN as well. We're just going to shout out all of the creators now.
Any creator would probably be happy if you use their code, so please do. Heading into set number 2 here, Humble potentially could take it here already. We are in a best of 3 after all, and if they take it 2-0, they are the top seed in their group. If they take it 2-1 today, they're not.
A kill on OP is going to be huge. Joker is going to collect the ball just to keep the pace of the game on the side of SK Gaming, and he goes in for the stun, finds a kill on a Semantic, but gets swiftly taken down by Boss, as there is another kill confirmed on Yoshi, and a great spot for Humble as they've completely pinned SK back in their spawn, Sunny.
Lucky, Boss getting tracked for now by the Meeple. Gets taken out in the end. We have a 2v1 here though. Yoshi probably doesn't have enough DPS to shut them down. Semantic here with the first goal. They're on their way to the match point here. Penna looks dangerous for SK. Remember, in match day number 1, they did take it in the end in a 2-1 fashion. Can they prolong this one into set 3 or not? It's the question. Stun from Joker. Semantic wins the 1v1 anyways. Hypercharge popped by him. Definitely worth. We are in a 3v2 once again.
The ball being passed up here. Ope has a hypercharge. Could opt to use Joker popping his hypercharge as is Ope. Ball is going to be collected by Semantic. Can he clear it? He does manage to clear it a little bit, but no, the ball is passed back. Joker is able to equalize with a minute 10 on the clock. It is still anybody's game here, Sonny.
We have 2 supers available on the side of Humble. Joker going in once again. This time he gets the better out of Symantec. Maybe able to slot that one in with a nice stun to Luki. He does manage to secure that one. And secure Yoshi here. Not too happy. A goal and game win. So let's see if they can prolong this one. So far, they have evaded a match point from Humble. And maybe we see Pinhole Punt for the 2nd time today already. Close message today, Panda.
I love it. I've been looking forward to this specific fixture in particular, and it's not really disappointing. We go into our 2nd game of this 2nd set here. Sorry, 3rd set here. And it's looking... Sorry, 2nd set. What's wrong with me? And it's looking pretty good here for Humble as they get the kill on a Yoshi. They're going to be moving up, pinning the entirety of SK back all the way. As Joker tries to use the super, does get caught for it. And there is a mansion of Meeple being placed here. Symantec going up against Ope. The mansions of Meeple go down. That's going to be gold for the side of Humble as they take an early lead.
Another early go coming out of Humble. We already saw that in the previous game. In the end, SK Gaming managed to still get the better out of them. Hypercharge pop by Luki. Great ult getting rid of Ope there. Gets taken care of by Yoshi though. Revenge is there. Joker engaging once again. Gets rid of Boss on the left-hand side. Joker engaging now. Can he score this one alone? Luki's going to be ready to defend, but it's not enough DPS. Joker equalizes the score here. 1-1.
That was beautiful from Joker. He played Spider-Man very effectively. Symantec is up a little too high, maybe a bit too egregious in his positioning there. Joker has a super that he could use. And now we see both the teams being slightly cagey, though a lot more control on the side of SK Gaming here, Sonny.
Symantec on the left-hand side looks to engage against Joker once again. Let's see who wins the 1v1 here. Heals from Ope. Symantec still wins that one. That's so interesting. We have 2 ults ready now for the side of Humble. They need to get out of spawn first though. With the Meeple ult placed, they managed to at least push Ope back for now. But Joker coming out of spawn, and we still don't have Humble really far away of their own goal. They need to defend.
Gadget be popped by Yoshi. He goes on to Luki. Can he find the kill onto Luki? Greery is going to go down. Certainly Luki falls. There's a kill on a Symantec. Boss is able to clear the ball, but Joker cleans him up. He passes the ball to Yoshi. Can Yoshi get the goal in? And he does manage to do it and secures that win for SK Gaming.
We're going to move into set 3. Pinhole Punt. We saw it today already. We see it again. How lovely is that we have such evenly matched teams? And this also means that even if Humble wins that one, SK is still going to claim the top spot in their current group because they won 2-1 last time. So yeah, the direct standing, SK would keep their spot, I believe. Pinhole Punt now. We saw some tanks come out of the 2 teams before. Reply Totem versus Experian. Reply Totem managed to do the impossible to get the reverse sweep against Experian, even though they already were a match point before. Let's see if SK can do the same here.
It is going to go down to the marbles here. I mean, sorry, it's all for... Wow, it's going to go down the wire. It's for all the marbles. I can talk. I'm definitely a competent caster.
You are, Panda.
But yeah, it's going down a Pinhole Punt here. And I am interested to see some of the wacky zany comps coming out here. We know that Hank got nerfed, so we might not see Hank being picked out as much, especially since the fact that the hypercharge homing has been nerfed. But Mo is a brawler that I think a lot more people should try and use. There are varying degrees of success when bringing out Mo, but certainly it's very centralizing in a control-based map such as this one. But if you go with something like a max double tank, I wouldn't say that's a bad pick either. So there are lots of different strategies that you could opt for here, Sonny.
Don't give them any bad ideas now. We already saw Poco Double 10 coming out of SK Gaming once today. It did not work out round 1. Now Poco 1 tank Juju definitely worked out a lot better. So let's see if we're going to see a rounded comp like that again, or if it's going to be pure aggression. We saw the Buster last match. We saw also Chester. Those 2 received their hypercharges just previous Monday. Next to them also Grom, Lola, Mac and Sam would be a bit stronger in the meta now. Not all of them have received the hypercharge that immediately catapulted them into tier S, but I can still see them viable in the current meta.
I think that's certainly a possibility here, Sonny. And you were talking about well-rounded comps. Are they going to be as rounded as I am? That is the question.
Could you not? You're beautiful. You're a great caster. You're amazing.
Thank you.
Talk about Rolf now. This is unbelievable.
Oh my god. Okay, we're gonna go into our draft. We have double bans here for Meeple. That's gonna open up one more brawler for a pick. Carl, Buster, B, and Lou are the other ones banned out. I feel like these are certainly great shouts to ban out here. Poco makes a lot of sense for Humble to go up first. You've seen how good Slambulance's compositions are here. And with the Ollie open, you have a little bit of shenanigans that you could go with. Barry coming out. I think that fundamentals of Barry with a tank make a lot of sense. Jackie in particular is really great with the fact that you can just keep zooming across the map with a gadget and the hypercharge. I think this makes a lot of sense from SK Gaming.
SK Gaming's comp is very good. They don't have the poke available anymore, so they go back to Barry comp here. Kind of the answer to Humble. Humble is the one team to always pick Barry. If they want to have the poker for themselves, SK is just going to copy the homework that Humble did previously, even at World Finals. It was just all Barry for them. Chester going to come out now. It makes a lot of sense into the Jackie. Has a lot of DPS. Again, has received his hypercharge, crunchy, chewy, gooey. So I'm looking forward to see some action there as well. Very strong in the current meta. I believe his hypercharge certainly have pushed him into S tier in the meta. Meeple banned out on both sides. No surprise here. I'm a bit surprised about the Lou ban here from the side of SK Gaming. They did have... Yeah, they could have picked him up himself, is what I'm saying. Frank is going to come out of Humble here. So again, a bit of an adapted strategy. It's not Poco double tank, it's Poco one tank, something else.
Chester is just like crying in the corner. He's something else. I love it. Yeah, I mean, you do need something to really address the Chester on lane here, or you could just go all in on the tank shenanigans. Not sure what they've got for it. They went for anti-tank, Colette. I think that's certainly a great shout here. I think it shuts down Frank completely, but more so, it also has range enough to keep Chester at bay. So I think all in all, I like the compositions from both teams.
I just hope they're going to go with push it and not the shield with her star power to get rid of potential goals even quicker. Gale would have probably been an option here as well. We saw Shelly before from Totem, so there's a lot of options they had. I'm sure they picked the best one, so Colette it is. We're gonna head into set number 3. Who is gonna take this one in this match that we all were hoping for in the GKR? OP engaging and immediately gets taken care of by Semantic.
Engaging but disengaged. Unfortunate for him, as Joker now is going to use his gadget. Gets the kill on a Semantic. Narrowly doesn't, though. Has to stay alive. With the healings from Yoshi, the Cleric is able to keep him healthy enough. With Ope going down, though, Luki is very low, but has passed the ball up to Boss, with Semantic rounding out the team once more. Ooh, nice break, with Boss confirming goal number 1 for the side of Humble.
We have 2 ults available for the side of SK Gaming now. Can they come out of this quickly and turn things around, or is Humble gonna take the match point already after this game? Heal coming out of Luki. Semantic still not looking too healthy there. Boss can heal up himself thanks to a little gadget pop there. And we're gonna have Luki move up all alone. Yoshi being ready with a hypercharge. Ulto doubles it down as well. Completely blocks off the map. No way through here for Humble. And now they're in spawn. Panda, can SK Gaming score here?
It depends if they get the purple button or not. It seems like a Joker, he's been going crazy. He gets another super. Collect call is online. Ope gets a kill with Semantic going down. That is another one for SK Gaming. It is now tied at 1 apiece here. It's down to the wire, Sonny.
Talking about purple buttons, Boss has his ready now, pops it, only manages to hit Ope with it, gets the second one, manages to hit the other 2 as well, all 3 falling, team wipe from Humble, and they take this game and match point as well. Is it gonna be the exact same we saw in match day number 1, but this time around it's gonna be 2-1 going to the way of Humble instead of SK Gaming?
Yeah, Semantic looks like he's locked in and he's really taking this seriously, so it's certainly going to be a very good one.
Game, don't worry.
Oh, he's just in a Moko game. We're going to go into game number 2 of this 3rd set here as Ope tries to clear out the ball a little bit. He is getting bullied, but slowly but surely with the tank trait, he's going to get his super and his hypercharge eventually, so they aren't too concerned about this. As Joker goes down, they're going to move the ball up a little bit, but the stuns from Boss are online. They are able to get the kill on Ope. Now Semantic pushing the ball up, and they have all the control in the world, Humble. They aren't forcing any fights in this situation.
Red team finds themselves in their spawn, can't really do too much to get out of it. Only Ope can look into engaging, get some heals from Yoshi from the back, but Humble is doing it so well. They're playing in a straight line. Nobody is stacking up, so that Jackie can't really get too much value out of an ult. Great stun evasion by Joker. Dashes through the Frank when he tried to stun him. That was phenomenal. Hypercharge pop by both Yoshi and Joker. If that's not a goal, I don't know what could be. 2 hypercharge popped. If that does not result in something useful, I don't know.
Hey, my purple button's bigger than yours. That's basically the mantra of the game right now. And here we see a stun coming in from Semantic. He breaks the wall, doesn't find any stun here, unfortunately. But with a minute 16 on the clock, it's looking much better for the side of Humble as they have a lot more utilities online. They get 2 kills. The last one alive is going to be Joker. He certainly is going to be dispatched, and that's going to be goal number 1 for the side of Humble. They have match point. They have the goal. It's only 1 more, Sunny.
SK needs to get 3 more goals to turn things around here. Otherwise, it's going to be Humble taking this win home today. Both of them already qualified for the playoffs, but there's still a lot on the line for those two. Samantha quite low, can't really gauge on the left-hand side right now, but it's a 3v2, so maybe they can make something out of it. Luki's going to get rid of Joker. Semantic falls as well. We're in a 2v2 now.
This is a really good spot for Humble with 32 seconds on the clock. It is now or never for SK Gaming. Unfortunately, with all the walls being broken, Ope doesn't have a clear line of sight where he can move up here, Sunny.
We're playing behind the walls here. SK tries to go for the long game, but if you look at the top left-hand side corner, they see that they still need to score, so they need to engage as soon as possible. Hypercharge available or not. Hypercharge popped now by Luki. Semantic has his as well. The pin is popped, and Humble knows they are the winners of today's match. They broke the curse and take the game against SK Gaming today. Congratulations to them. They are already qualified for the playoffs, but it's such an important win for them. Semantic's still not that happy. Where's that smile?
Hey, I mean, that's what happens when you're world champion. It's part and parcel of the game. You might play it great, you might get the wins, but if it's not perfect, you're not satisfied, you're not happy. So I think that's a good decision by Semantic not to be happy or excited. But regardless, we saw Humble forcefully feed SK Gaming that humble pie. And I think they are certainly going to be happy about it because now they're on even keel with SK Gaming. In terms of the board for Group C, it's both SK Gaming and Humble on top here. So I'm not sure about who wins the seeding here, Sunny.
After the matches, before the match for the side of Humble, we saw that in Semantic's eyes. He's already ready for their next opponent. We're gonna head into Papara Supermassive versus Reversa Gaming in a second. As you mentioned, I'm not quite sure what skin is gonna happen in Group C now. I do believe SK Gaming keeps it since they won first, but we can check that in the break and also figure that out for you and maybe already be able to tell you the next round.
Best decision that you could possibly make is just go to GKR Leagues on Twitter, follow them there. You'll get all the information, or otherwise go to Liquipedia. There is a wealth of information and resources related to Brawl Stars esports there if you aren't already initiated and antiquated with how esports and Brawl Stars works. For now though, we're going to take a short break as we come back to our 3rd match of the day. We'll take a short 3-minute break, so we'll see you then. Bye. Semantic, stop playing Moko.
I'm ready.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the EMEA. Welcome back to GKR 2025 EMEA Brawl Stars circuit. I'm gonna get it right one of these days. I am your host, Panicast, the scatterbrained idiot, joined by the amazing and very talented and knowledgeable, and I'm gonna sing all of the praises in the world for Study. And welcome back, Study.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You're gonna get it right one of these days. Today's the last day, so maybe today it will still be. You still have 4 chances. We only are through with 2 matches so far of our 6 overall. The next one is gonna be Papar Supermassive versus Reverso Gaming. Also one that I was looking forward to. It was a quite close matchup in their previous the previous time those 2 teams faced off against each other. Also in match day 1, it was a 2-1 for Papar Supermassive. So maybe today we see Reverso live up to the hype, turning things around here, or Papar Supermassive just being even stronger in the playoffs. They already are. They can just like be double in the playoffs, I guess. They could just be there even stronger.
Yeah, they were crazy in the last match day. I was surprised by how dominant they were. Unfortunately, with the win of Black Totem, it is basically curtains for Reverso Gaming, so they don't have their last shot at glory today. And a loss here doesn't mean anything, nor does a win here mean anything for them. But honestly, I think it still comes down to, beating the team which is the top of your group, right? Even if you don't make it to the playoff stage, you want some of those bragging rights. So certainly with Papar Supermassive looking very clean lately, it seems to be a tall order to expect Reverso to get the dub. But, their desperation is something to be wary of for Papar Supermassive, I have to say.
So far, we only had 1 lone team at the top of the GKR League. Only SK Gaming didn't lose a single match of any of their 6 match days overall. Now they did against Humble, we just watched it. So technically, these unmatched winners could be matched now by Eclipsar and Papar Supermassive. They could also sit on 5 wins, 1 loss after today. So Papar Supermassive definitely strives to be in this top 2 or top 3 teams overall. For Reverso, there's still some things on the line. The top 8 teams overall will make it into the playoffs. Means that they are technically still in the race for one of these slots. They're 2 and 3, 2 and 3 in their matches so far. 2 wins, 3 losses. So they still have a chance.
Maple Frank, Ollie B, and Stu being banned out. It just goes to show that there is more of a consensus with how the meta is shaping. I feel like we see a lot more of the common bans that we weren't seeing as often in the past. So I really like the balance changes that were executed by the team and by Adrian. So Poco is coming out first for Papar Supermassive. We see Poco routinely coming out first. I think it's a good moderating presence. It allows you to play defensive and aggressive. You are open to a lot more opportunities, but it certainly shapes the draft for Reverso because they're going to be responding very likely to possible second and third picks coming out from Papar Supermassive. They decided to go with Chester. We've seen how good Chester is, especially with the hypercharge. You break open the walls, you just are going to do debilitating amounts of damage, and with the Barley placing down the last call, it's just going to be a hazard to just walk around and exist for Papar Supermassive.
I do like the Poco. We had it before, though it didn't work out for SK Gaming. Paired with 2 tanks, the adaptation to pair it with something outside of a tank, just picking up one of those HP heavy brawlers is going to be better, I think. Juju, it is. We saw Juju Poco before, so I do like that. It's a good answer to the Barley as well. You need a thrower to beat throwers, I think, or you just go with something super aggressive, which I still believe this last pick could be a tank here coming out of Papar.
Yeah, you're certainly right. Juju for a barley makes sense because there's so many walls on this map that having a wall break isn't really that consistent because of the amount of walls that they break, right? So El Primo is coming out. I like the El Primo when paired with the Poco and the slow from the Juju. I think that El Primo can be that much more aggressive. The wall breaks are really great as well, and obviously it's good for shutting down any possible tanky option coming out from the side of Reverso Gaming. I already like this composition from Papa Supermassive, Sunny.
We're working in the background, by the way, on the seeding question regarding Group C, and it looks like SK is still at the top, but Humble and SK actually have the same exact number of set wins, points, and overall, yeah, it's just SK and Humble are
tied.
Exactly the same. So yeah, we can't really tell. That's interesting. They're still working on it, I think. Cordelius is going to be the last pick here for Reverse. So a tank counter. They have 2 now together with the Jester. Still, I would side with Papara Supermassive's comp here. I like it a bit better. It's well-rounded. They seem to struggle to get into the game, though, at the start. They were just standing still and immediately got hit by that barley, all 3 of them.
Yeah, last call coming down. Tomzy is going to be there to claim the ball. Actually, Filippo does that instead. Tomzy quite low, in fact, and now Filippo is just making a little bit more room for his team to operate on, but it's not looking that good. In fact, Reverso looks to be a much more dominant position. Ball being passed to Tomzy. He gets taken out. He tries to jump onto the ball, not able to do so. Now we see a fast break coming. Filippo going in, gets the kill on today, and it is just anarchy for the side of Papa Supermassive as he completely undo Reverso.
Team wipe. The red team has no legs to stand on right now, but they can still defend from their spawn. So far, not a single goal in this match, so it seems to be very evenly matched here. Heal coming out of Tomzy. Filippo still looking a bit healthier and can engage again now. There's a hypercharge ready, but no super on that Primo. Pass to Tomzy, doesn't find its targets. Filippo still jumps in and slots it in. In the end, it all worked out, even though it was a bit chaotic from the side of Papara.
I have to say the ping on Andy was crazy because he got his super at the same moment that he hit the Primo, and the Primo was able to get rid of the ball before going into the realm. That was a crazy set of interactions here. Filippo going to go in. He managed to collect the ball as well. He gets the kill. He finds another one onto Nez, and it is a one-man wrecking team on the side of Papara Supermassive.
I did say if you want to go up against the thrower, you either pick a thrower yourself or something aggressive. So far, I had my eyes glued to Andy here, getting rid of Salty time and time again. He plays the jump gadget so he can just come up close and comfy, and Juju doesn't usually like that. We're going to have Filippo with an ult now, trying to engage. Coming close and comfy with the barley, but with some help from Nez, he actually survives it, and Reverso might be able to slot that one in, but not possible with Salty and Tomzy still defending. It's still 1-0 for Papara, and only 30 seconds left on the clock for Reverso to turn things around.
Yes, and Papara Supermassive are doing the SK. The ball is on the bottom left, just safe in its cubby there. Jump from Filippo is able to kill one of the members, but Nez gets the kill onto him nonetheless. Hypercharge coming down from Reverso Gaming. They get the kill onto Salty. Ball being claimed by Nez. Can he pass the ball on to Day? It doesn't seem likely. He tries. Now he passes the ball to Filippo instead. Filippo with a suplex, and he is able to keep the game for the side of Papara Supermassive.
We see Tomzy still super ready for the next round here of Brawl Ball. It's very good to see that the poker comps can still indeed work out, Spender. It's just not poker double tank time, I think, season.
I feel like it's still Slambulance is a possibility, but it's not like double Slambulance anymore. You're right. We're going to go into game number 2 of this first set, and Grieger is going to be placed on the right-hand side, gets dispatched almost immediately. Salty sneaking up on this right-hand side, does get caught out just before getting back into the bush here. And with Filippo coming back into the mid, it's going to allow a little bit more room for Reverso, but he gets taken out almost immediately. Last call going down in the back lines here. A kill onto, double kill in fact. Now Nez is going to go up against Filippo mano a mano. He tries to stun, he doesn't get it, but they are able to get that kill onto Primo and finish this one off to get the first goal.
Primo has a lot of health points, but even himself doesn't have enough to win a 1v3 in front of their own goal, so Reverso manages to slot that one in. 1-0 up now, and they can still turn around the set even. Nice. Getting rid of Filippo there on the top left-hand side. Jester coming in with a hypercharge now. And Reverso is on the way to make this a 2-0 potentially. Filippo coming out of the spawn once again. Salty doesn't look too healthy anymore. Just one more shot of the Barley and he would be down, but Barley gets dispatched himself. Papara made it out of spawn.
And now they're slowly crawling all the way back up. They have a minute to get a next goal here. Hypercharge being used. Does manage to claim the ball on D and clear it a little bit. As Filippo finds the kill onto Ondi. Actually, Tomsy does. Now Filippo could go for a goal scoring opportunity. Pass the ball to Salty. Salty is just able to walk it in. And just like that, effectively, we have got a tie here, Sonny.
Filippo quite low already, has a hypercharge available, but he needs to get out of spawn first, and Ondi doesn't seem to be wanting to give him any time. The super gets thrown onto Tomsy, but that's still not a goal. That was a bit of a fumble, I believe. He could have potentially been able to slot that one in for now. Reverso goes back, rewinds time, goes back into mid, and just plays it slow now. Just trying to get rid of that Primo over and over again. They managed to do so 3-2.
Yeah, I like the way that they're using Ani to shut down that El Primo along with the help of Day. I feel like just keeping the Primo at bay is probably their best bet. But now Primo has a hypercharge, doesn't have the super just yet. And as I say, he finally gets it, not able to connect it on anybody. Goes for the speech, goes for the goal here. Can he manage to do so? He's going up against... Oh, he does! He does! And that is going to be goal for the side of Papara Supermassive. And they take the second game and the set.
That was too quick to see almost, and Papara Supermassive takes that set even though Reverso looked like they were able to take this game. Well played by them, able to keep calm, keep their nerves. Filippo must have had a negative KD though. The amount of times they were able to take care of Primo was immeasurable. I felt like they had everything under control and yet still just letting him slip through once, and he is able to score. So they certainly did well to target that Primo. Let's see now, Super Beach, is it going to be another Poco tank comp? Is Poco finally going to be banned out again? Because even though he might have received a little nerf, he still seems to be as strong as ever.
Yeah, you're completely right. I feel like I thought that this would be the last that we see of Poco, at least for the rest of 2025. That doesn't seem to be the case. But I like one thing, though, about the resurgence of Poco once more, is that it's not Slambulance. You can still run other compositions. And I think that is probably a good marker of how well the team has been doing to balance the game out. Because otherwise, if you don't run Poco double tank, or it's basically chalk, you won't run Poco at all. So the fact that Poco is still viable is probably a good indication of how the meta is shifting.
Heading into Super Beach now, the map that we talked about a lot of times already. She was either banned out or picked up one of the best brawlers, if not the best, on this map ever since it's in the competitive map pool. We're gonna see if she's gonna be showing up in the draft again or not. She's gonna be banned. Meeple as well. Meeple also very strong, and Poco finally banned out Panda. We're not gonna see any adaptation of this composition. First pick is going towards Reverso Gaming here. They still have a lot of options open, especially throwers are completely left untouched in this bans.
That is true, and that's just gonna mean that we have a lot more throwers coming out. Maybe you get your Jujus, your berries. Those are the usual suspects here. Grom has got a hypercharge. I haven't seen Grom being picked up as much, so the hypercharge hasn't really helped out Grom as much in terms of prevalence in the meta. But that being said, Byron is going to be picked up first for the side of Reverso Gaming, and we saw how good B was in the previous fixture. I believe actually in the first one, with Experian using B quite often. So it being banned out makes sense because it's very strong. I like the Byron because it has the long range capabilities. Also, it synergizes well with the tank option, and with the fact that Poco is banned out, might be a pretty decent pick. It's a stew. It's a stew. Oh, okay.
Yeah, your words for Byron are still valid, as it's actually picked up by Papara Supermassive here. Of course, when the Poco isn't an option anymore, you still want to go with tanks, you might as well pick Byron or Berry. Both would have been viable in my opinion, but on such an open map such as Super Beach, it definitely makes sense. Frank going to be picked up by Reverso Gaming here. Do they pick a healer or just something with a bit more range and DPS? Because I don't think Stu can get rid of Ollie effectively, not quick enough. Usually Ollie can just rush through here. It's going to be last pick for Reverso Gaming before we see We see the last option also for Pepera Supermassive.
I was just gonna say Chester. Chester is just, it seems to be like a mixed bag of tricks, obviously, because of the RNG with the super, but it's very consistent with the damage output, and the fact that it can keep opponents at bay with the wall breaks as well is just so good of such a good option here. You can't really get snuck up on. All he can possibly, you know, attract you, but at the end of the day, Chester has such insane damage output that I doubt the Ollie can survive. So I think that is a good shout there. We expected a thrower to come out here, so I like this pick of the Juju as well.
Both comes pretty well rounded in my opinion. Chester especially strong right now. I feel like he's one of the best brawlers in the current meta, and yet completely overlooked today so far. We only had him once, twice maybe. He was barely ever banned out. He, to me, is definitely still underrated, even though the whole world talks about how strong his hypercharge truly is. Heading into set 2 now, can Pepara Supermassive close it out here, or is it going to be an evenly matched match once again heading into set 3 so far? 2v2. Both teams have lost one of their members. Filippo gonna come back out of spawn with an ult, so does Andy. Andy tries to stun Tomsy on the right-hand side. Goes too far down. Filippo and Salty can actually just walk through and slot that one in. That was beautifully executed by Pepara Supermassive there. 1-0 already, and we only have 1 minute 45 left.
That was crazy. Just managing to thread the needle on the left-hand side. Now Salty should certainly go down here. He does go down, uses the super, but Filippo gets a trade there, and he's able to thread the needle once more. And 2 cheeky goals is going to put Reverso. Sorry, it's going to put Pepera Supermassive into match point territory, Sonny.
I think that Byron just proved to us once again that Super Peach is not really well liked in the pro scene, exactly because of that. If there's a brawler with ult, you always have to place one of your own teammates in mid there to just catch the ball in case somebody tries a sneaky shot like that. Verso wasn't ready for that. Let's see if they are in this round. They still have one chance, one leg to stand on. If they manage to take this game, we could still see them move on into set 3. Otherwise, this is going to be the quickest match today so far.
And we're going to go into game number 2 here of the second set. We already have match point for Pepera Supermassive, so right now Reverso really need to come back into their own. Otherwise, it's basically all over for them. Salty goes in with a super, finds the kill onto Andy. There's going to be a breakthrough by Day, but he's not able to find the kill. Salty is very low, but the healing is online by Filippo. He's keeping both of his teammates relatively healthy, I would say, but now Nez is contesting Filippo on the right, and it has pushed him back to spawn. There is a hypercharge by Andy, and that is something that Pepera Supermassive have to be wary about, Sonny.
Salty has to keep his gadgets here as soon as Andy pops an ult. He needs it to get rid of Andy. That's also an option, I guess. We have a Grigri on the field as well, sneaking up slowly, getting slow off onto Stu. Stu quite low, the balls. This could be another goal here by Pepara Supermassive. Ness is the last man standing. Can't really do too much. Falls, and this is going to be 1-0 for Pepara Supermassive. They already have match point. They are just 1 goal away to confirm their win today.
Starts being used by Andy here. He tries to get the goal in, not able to do so with Tomsy, able to reply to keep their hopes alive. And the ball is going to be cornered with a goal in hand already and a match point. I don't really think Pepera Supermassive have to force the offensive. It is now onto Reverso to actually make the decisions now, Sonny.
They're trying to go in aggressively. Filippo falls. Salty quite low. Falls himself as well. 1-2. And we have Tomsy fall. Those two now may be able to score here if they don't fumble the ball. They don't, of course not. Nez able to score here, 1-1 overall. And now Pepara Supermassive is 1 goal away to take this match today. Davey pops a hypercharge, moves up the map quite aggressively. All 3 members of the blue team are quite low, but they do manage to stay alive for now. It's a 1v2 with Chester being alone on this side once again.
Nance goes down. Day comes back. He doesn't have his hypercharge. Andy does, but opts not to use it in that situation. Gets the stun off on Tomsy. Not able to find the value over there to get the kill. Andy still going up very aggressively. Manages to finally get dispatched, but it's a little bit too late for him and his team. As now the Reverso trying to get a goal, but they aren't able to do so. They're being pushed back, and Filippo and Tomsy in charge of fending them off.
So far, Papara in control of the ball corner for now. They don't want to leave any opening for Reverso. Andy, of course, could just move up, but he doesn't have an ult to really follow up on aggression right now. But Nez does. Maybe Reverso can still get the ball out of the corner if they manage to get the timing right. Davey, very low here, though. Has to fall back, as well as Andy probably falling here. He is. It's a 3v2. Both members of Reverso are low. This could be a goal for Papara Supermassive. Filippo falls. It's a 2v2 now. Ult ready for Nez still. What ult is it? Andy comes out of spawn, catches the ball with only 10 seconds left on the clock. This is not going to be a goal for Papara. Maybe for Reverso. If Andy gets his super right passes to Filippo, we're going to see another game.
This is the first time in any of the Brawl Ball matches in these fixtures between any of the teams in this competition where it has been a draw. So that is interesting. We're going to go into game number, I believe, 2 once again.
Yes, technically. We have still Papara Supermassive sitting on a match point. If they manage to take another game, they will take the match, and we're not going to see any more of Reverso today or in the future. They can't make it into the playoffs anymore. Great ult coming out of Filippo, and he's so low, he has to fall back there. Papara Supermassive can go through mid, push up again. Only Davey is standing in their way and actually manages to get the takedown onto Filippo. Even though he hypnotized, he still stays alive. Reverso in a 3v2, but they can't really capitalize on it.
Dashing forward with the super, not able to get the hypnosis onto anybody. Wall breaks on the right hand side. That's going to give Chester and the Stew a little bit more breathing room in terms of how they can play this. Salty trying to find some value there, trying to get his super. Can he manage to do it? He does manage to get it despite 3 members of the other team on his behind.
Just a bit too tanky. And again, we have a match point. We have 1 goal for Papara Supermassive. It looks exactly the same as in the previous match. Let's see if Reverso can again prolong into overtime. If they again can equalize the score. Omni moves up now, tries to be salty from the last round, just moving in the ball, maybe. No one is there to pass him the ball, though. He himself picks up the ball now and walks it in. We have the 2 tanks just pressing W today. Well, it's Brawl Stars, not really, you know. You just move up the joystick, but you know what I mean.
Oh, I completely do. Hypercharge is being popped. Tomsy falls. Now we see Day going in. He's able to score. And that's going to be Reverso taking this game and forcing a game number 3 of the second set. Still, Papara Supermassive are on match point, but I love the tenacity of Reverso Gaming. They know that they're out of this competition. They could basically have just taken it lying down, but they refuse to do it. They have the tenacity, they have the grit, the determination to make sure that Papara Supermassive don't have a free road to the finals.
We're seeing a very resilient Reverso today, still able to make it into the playoffs if they only manage to win this match. Let's see if they manage to do so or not. So far, so good for them. They forced game number 3, can also force a set number 3. Nobody's there to stop Salty. This is going to be another 30-second goal from Papara Supermassive, but we saw that Reverso doesn't really care about that too much. Yes, that first goal goes towards our opponents, but we can still win this game.
Also getting hypnosis onto Andy. That's going to be huge. Andy is going to be taking out Filippo with a little bit of help there in the assist, as Tomsy and Salty are going to be low. Now it's up to Filippo to keep them healthy, or maybe ensure that Nez is pushed back. Right now they're pinched in the spawn, and last time we saw how the ball was placed on the right hand side but was claimed very easily as well from Reverso Gaming, so they can't really rest on their laurels there. They get the kill onto Andy, and now we see Filippo going down as well. Hypercharge being popped by Day. Last time Hypercharge didn't really do much. He is flashy, he has low ping, but not able to confirm any kills whatsoever.
Stu dashing back and forth, does manage to get Salty quite low. Survive a splash from Filippo, gets finally taken out, but gave his 2 teammates enough time to come back out of spawn. They only have 1 minute left, but that's more than enough time for Reverso to turn things around here, to still evade this match point and go into set 3 in the end. We have a hypercharge ready on the Frank. Let's see if they can do something with it. Davey is doing so much. Gets taken out once again, but his 2 teammates are playing it so hesitant.
Yeah, I feel like this one was really one in the draft, I feel for Papara Supermassive, that Stu pick early on isn't really doing them any favors because Stu can't go up against any of these opponents easily because one is if he gets too close, there are ways to mark him down. We see finally Auntie going in with the hypercharge. He should get the kill on the Salty. No, Salty getting hypnosis nonetheless. He does have a super, could use it, but has shut down Frank, and that is basically his job in that situation. Tomsy goes down. The right flank is falling. It is now or never for the side of Reverso as they are trying to force the offensive. Day going in. He gets taken out. Auntie is alive as well, but he's going to be taken down, and so does Nez. With 5 seconds on the clock, it's all but over. Papara Supermassive take this one. It is done. It is dusted. It is Papara Supermassive.
They did it once again, winning so many matches so far. 4 out of their 5 matches won. Now make it 5 out of 6 matches. Phenomenal display of their skills. They are in the playoffs, and we're going to see some more of them on April 8th and 9th. Congrats to them. Commiserations to Reverso. I feel like they did a great showing today after all, Penna. I feel like the draft was okay. Their display of skills was quite up there together with all of the teams we have seen so far, with Totem, with SK, with Humble, and Papara Supermassive, quite evenly matched after all, even though the result is a 2-0. It doesn't quite reflect how close it really was.
Yeah, it was. I felt like it was down to the wire. I couldn't really call it anyway. Even at the end, I felt like Reverso might have been able to do it, but it didn't happen. I have to say, though, the tenacity of Reverso was something inspiring, but I felt like Papara Supermassive were just so indomitable in this particular fixture. I think they're a team to be watched and looking. I mean, you need to look out for this team going into the playoffs. But right now, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. We have to refactor. We finished 3 of the games for today's match day. We have 3 more left. And next, it's going to be IDI versus FA Sniggets, and that's going to be in about 3 minutes. And we will see you guys after the break. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to GKR EMEA 2025. Right now, we just have a small little blurb for you. We are taking another 10-minute break. We're just waiting for the teams to settle on up because sometimes there might be some miscommunication issues. I believe also recently it was the daylight savings time, so in Europe. So maybe, I don't know, some teams may not be ready. They may have the wrong time. So giving them benefit of the doubt, we're going to take a small little break.
That being said, we will head into Dark Eagles versus LSC directly after the break, so stay tuned for that one. Also, Eclipsar versus Snitchel still coming up next. So 2 games you don't want to miss out on. I certainly wouldn't. So stay tuned.
See ya. One. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to GKR EMEA 2025 Brawl Stars Circuit. I finally got it right. I am your host, Pedicast, joined by the amazing Sunny Enough. If you are buying anything in any of the Supercell related games, make sure to use code PANSUN or any creator in the Brawl Stars, or sorry, in the Supercell ecosystem. It will help all of us out a lot. Thank you so much. And once again, Sunny, what do you have to say?
Not too much, honestly. I'm just really looking forward to our next match. We sadly had to skip one of our matches, but we still have 2 matches lined up next that I was very much looking forward to. On this one, we have Dark Eagles versus LLC Esports. LLC already almost mathematically qualified. If they win today, they certainly made it into the playoffs with a 3-2, 3 wins, 2 losses so far. Dark Eagles is sitting on the opposite, 2-3, and the last time that the 2 of them faced up against each other, it was such a close match, Panda. We had a 2-1 overall for the way. It did go the way of LLC in the end, but it could have went either way. It was just so close overall. So I think this could be another match that is going all the way today.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, with Dark Eagles, we have Farissa, Master, Xerox, and LSC. We have Alan, Zero, Ramika. All these players are really good. We're in for a nail biter for series here. LSC is the second in Group B, and Dark Eagles are third, with only 1 win here separating the 2. Dark Eagles' path to the playoffs requires them to get a 2-0 set victory here against LSC Esports, who they lost to in a previous head-to-head in 2-1. So it is a very difficult ask for Dark Eagles, especially when considering that one of their victories was from a forfeit by Eclipsar. So they are a little bit, I would say, pretenders to the title, but maybe they can make something happen. But right now, all my marbles are for LLC.
I mean, I don't want to get jump into this too quickly, Panda, but the top 8 team overall qualify with IDI not participating today. I think those 2 teams are actually both qualified. The only team that could still have been dangerous to those 2 was Reverso. They lost their match 2-1 against Papara Supermassive at 2-0 actually. So yeah, both of those teams qualified for the playoffs now, but they can still play for a better seeding because so far Dark Eagles is sitting at dead last.
That does make sense. It is very, I guess, confusing, especially on the last match day, to keep track of what is happening all the time. So I apologize. Thank you, Sunny, for keeping me in check. I appreciate that.
Oh, good. I have the math ready. I'm mathing today. It's okay. we all are good at something, you know. I can do math. It's one thing I can do.
I talk in mic. That's my only skill.
That is a very good skill to have, I think, especially since you're a caster. I think that's quite handy.
Anyway, for those who are just joining in, we've had a few matches that you might have missed to just get you up to speed rather. First up was NXT versus Totem, where Totem won against NXT, though it wasn't very comfortable of a win. Then we had Humble going up against SK Gaming, where they were SK Gaming were fed the Humble pie, and they lost that one, where Humble were finally able to get one back from SK Gaming. Then we went into Papara Supermassive versus Reverso Gaming, where Papara Supermassive were very dominant, though it was quite close nonetheless, with Papara Supermassive taking the dub. EDI versus FA Sniggets does not get played because I believe one of the teams did forfeit, and that was unfortunate because we would love to see that, which is why we are now on our 5th match of the day, which is Dark Eagles versus LLC.
We're going to show you all of the matches again at the end of the show, and also stay tuned to any of GKR's social media. On Twitter, for example, you can follow and see exactly which teams are going to be in the playoffs. I do believe we're going to get detailed schedule at the end of it, and we're going to be able to tell you exactly which 8 teams. But so far, for sure qualified for the playoffs are SK Gaming, Humble, Reply Totem, Papar Supermassive, Eclipsar Esports, and LLC.
Yeah, so all these teams have been confirmed. And if you're joining us, the 3 maps that we have are going to be Triple Dribble, Super Beach, and Pinhole Punt. For those uninitiated with how GKR does the group stage, they have different match days, but each match days are thematically for one specific game mode. And today's match day, which is the last one of the double round robin, would be Brawl Ball, which is why we have Triple Beach followed by Super Beach followed by Pinhole Punt. I said Triple Beach, I meant Triple Dribble. I'm sorry, chat.
Heading into the very last match day of the season with the most well-liked mode of all, Brawl Ball, probably the most popular of them all. And we're going to head into Triple Dribble. As you just mentioned, it's going to be a map where you can play throwers. We did see quite a lot of Juju. We saw Dynamite and Barley come out of the team so far already. I wonder now what Dark Eagles and LLC are going to show us. We had a huge balance update last week, and also 6 hypercharges added to the game. So a lot of changes, and within just 1 week, the teams had to get up to speed with this new meta.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how some players are just no-lifing Moko right now, but are still able to keep track of what is happening in the Brawl Stars meta. And I don't know, I like the variance that we're getting. I like the fact that we have brawlers in the meta that we don't see as often coming back. Pogo has been out of the meta for a long time, so the fact that it's back with the gadget changes and the gadget rework makes it that much more interesting, because that means if you have healers back, you have tanks back, that means you have tank counters back as well. So a lot of different changes happening all around. As we go into our draft here, we have the players on cam, and our bans are going to be Juju, Finks, Chester, Hank, B, and Meeple.
Finks was banned out every single round, I believe, on this map so far. Must be really strong. I have to try him out whenever I get into a map of Triple Dribble in my ranked matches. Stu is going to be the first pick here. Also, Brawler we've seen quite often today so far. Wally as well. Same as we've seen in the previous matches. Something new this time. There's only 1 player without a player cam. That's lovely to see.
Stu's coming out along with Poco Ollie on the other side for LC Esports. Dark Eagles have their second and third pick that they have to go with. We did see Stu coming out early for some of the other teams, but it didn't play out the way that they wanted it to be played out. Frank is going to be coming out. The problem with Stu is that he just doesn't have enough DPS to really address the Poco Ollie with so many things happening on the other side. We have Cordelius being picked up by Dark Eagles as well to round out their composition. And the last one is here for LSC, Sunny.
Last time those 2 teams faced up against each other, we were on Gem Grab. Now heading into Brawl Ball, let's see if those 3 maps favor Dark Eagles a bit more. I do like the draft. They have something that can get rid of the Poker and the Ollie with the Cordelius. Frank looking very good as well. He just doesn't have a healer at his side. So if I had to pick a comp here, I would certainly go with LLCs, because it just seems to be a bit better rounded. They have a tank, they have the healer alongside it, and they have the Surge to deal with the aggression on the other side.
Indeed, I like this from the side of LSC. They have ways to also address the Dark Eagles draft here. Let's see how this one does go as we go into game number 1 between Dark Eagles and LSC on this map here. So far, it seems like Master is just going to be playing Ring Around the Rosie with Alan. Doesn't want to be feeding the Surge, obviously, and keeping the Surge at bay is definitely a very important part of their strategy in this one. It is a little bit of a stalemate though in the mid, with a little bit more control on the side of LSC, and I'm sure that we will get back the game feed in a few seconds.
Let me guess what happens in the meantime here. LLC with the Poco healing their Ollie through. Ollie finally gets a super, manages to hypnotize his opponents, and will head directly into the ball and manages to slot it in. So I assume as soon as we're getting out of this little technical issue, we're gonna see a 1-0 for LLC.
We are back, sorry, and we apologize for that.
It's a 1-0 for Dark Eagles, never mind.
Caster's Curse, that's the only thing that you can... That's crazy. He was able to slot that in at the right moment. He got hypnotized like the second after. That's crazy.
Okay, Pergoli doesn't seem to work out. I would love to see now in round number 2 why exactly Dark Eagles is dominating like that. That was the quickest 2-0 we've seen today. So let's see. They do have the Frank. They can go in quite aggressively. Cordelius can manage to deal with their opposing side. Search already with a Sage 2. That's not something you like to see from the side of the blue team here. Master on that Frank tries to go up against the Search here. He's just going to feed him stage 3 in the end here. Heal coming out of Zero. Xerox taking the surge into Shadow Realm. Remika moving up with the Hypnotize. Now happens what I saw coming in the last round, and it's going to be 1-0 for LSE.
That was very well played by Remika. He understood that Dark Eagles were caught napping. He took that opportunity and ran with it, quite literally, with the ball, got the goal. Now we do have them with a hypercharge. They are moving very aggressively. We see Remika going in, dashing in once more. Alan has a jump. He goes onto Xerox. Xerox jumps out of the way. He gets the ball, but he passes it back to them. And just like that, we have LSE Esports responding in kind to the aggression brought out by Dark Eagles in Game 1.
Another very quick match. This time it goes to LLC equalizing the score in this first set. So we were talking a lot about evenly matched matches so far today. We had 2-1s overall. I feel like this is just the same. A very even match here. Both of them are sitting on 3 wins, 2 losses for LLC, 2 wins, 3 losses for Dark Eagles. So they're the strong mid that we have in this GKR league.
Yeah, Farissa styling with that trick shot unfortunately gets collected by Remika on the other side. And we see the ball moving up slowly but surely. Remika has a super going in onto Xerox. Xerox uses the super of his own to obviate that. And oh, he gets the ball. Master collects the ball and gets it out of that situation. There is not sure what that super was from Farissa, but right now we see lots of hypercharges being popped all around. There are some kills happening. Now Alan gets the kill onto Master and has the ball up to Remika. I love the way LC Esports, we're in such a dire position, but we're able to come out on top, Sunny.
Free ults available for the side of Dark Eagles. Can they move up now? Cordelius tries to do so, taking the Remika into Shadow Realm, but doesn't manage to take him out. Remika now engaging aggressively, trying to hypnotize the Frank. He responds with a gadget though. He's ready for it. Still goes down. 3v2 situation now for the side of the red team. They can move up here with a hypercharge all on Search. He could use it to just go up against the Stu here. Decides against it. And we are basically back to the beginning. Reset here. The 2 teams just both standing in mid. Ball currently in the hands of Master. But you can't really speak of control.
Master uses the hypercharge, not able to get any value from it, not able to get a single super as well. Now Alex going to be moving on the left-hand side, but Xerox keeping them at bay. I think that LSE are looking for overtime here. As the map opens up a little bit more, it might be easier for them to really deal with this Frank.
Master moves up with his hypercharge ult, and both Remika and Alan are just jumping over it with an ult and with a gadget. That was, at the same time, very sad and impressive to see. Moving up now, Dark Eagles maybe with a goal opportunity here. Zero and Anna quite low, but they have a Poco heal ready. Still not a goal. 20 seconds left on the clock before it hits overtime, and I do believe this is going to be decided then. We have one last attack here from Farissa. It's a 1v3 though. Manages to get the takedown on 2-1. Remika moves on regardless. Can he slot it in? He can. 5 seconds before the end. And it's gonna be LLC taking this round. And taking the set as well. Dark Eagles can still be proud of themselves. It was a very close one. They need to show some resilience now and don't lose their motivation. They can still take set 2 and set 3. And make it a winning day.
And you have a tenacious mentality to really come back from a set loss when it was that close. So maybe Super Beach might be something that changes their favors. But I really like the way that set was played. It was very back and forth. We saw some pop-off plays coming in from both teams. And ultimately, you know, the better team wins that one.
Heading into this set number 2 now, it's Super Beach. B comes to mind immediately when we see this map. I said it before, I think, once or maybe 10 times. A map that I think Dark Eagles should do well on. They usually are quite good with long-range brawlers. I think they can win this one from LLC. Last time they faced each other, it was also 2-2-1. So I do believe we're going to see all 3 sets. But Dark Eagles now needs to stop the momentum that LLC has just gained from that set 1. Dark Eagles did manage to stomp them in game number 1, but LLC managed to turn things around, winning game 2 and 3. And I think that could hurt Dark Eagles' mental a bit.
I mean, it is hard to be in that situation, but I feel like if you're a team which has managed to get to this far in this competition, I don't think you're going to take it lying down. Yes, you might have a few setbacks here and there, but I think you have the mental fortitude to come back here. As we go into our draft on Super Beach, we have our bands: Poco, Finks, Chester, B, Meeple, and Ollie. So 6 different bands. That means less opportunities to have more brawlers in the pick phase, as Stu is going to be picked up first by Dark Eagles. LC Esport opt for the Frank pick, with Poco being banned out and Ollie being banned out. I think Dark Eagles need to be scared, because certainly there's going to be a healer coming out for LC Esport, and that might be Barry.
Very quite possible here. You need a healer on the side of Frank. So far they decide to go with the Frank counter. Makes a lot of sense here. Picking the Lu so the opponents can't have him. Xerox dropping his iPad in the meantime, or his camera, either way. Stu picked up so far from Dark Eagles, and Xerox goes dark.
That was nice. I like the wordplay there.
I just pulled a panda right there. World plays are his thing. Usually. The second pick now, they can still go with something to counter the Frank. Decide to go with something tanky themselves now. Mo, we have talked about it before, seems to be very strong in the current meta, but hasn't really had a good win rate so far today, Panda.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's just that in the ranked, it might be more viable, but in competitive, teams know how to play around it, or maybe teams haven't really operationalized or utilized Mo to that extent where he could be useful. Let's see if this plays out in Dark Eagle's favor, as Juju is going to be coming out. What I've noticed though a lot with Stu specifically is that the hypercharge looks flashy, right? And if you have low ping, you can move across the map really fast, but I feel like you have only moments of like flashiness. I don't really think that Stu is all that great, especially, I mean, with the first pick as a Stu, you are open to being countered out by very, very, very tanky oppositions, and Frank and Lou do exactly that. And Larry and Laurie, once the twin is out, is just hard for the Stu to deal with. I really like this draft from LC Sport.
Yeah, another tough one here for Dark Eagles. They need to win that one to prolong into set 3. But if I had to decide with the comp, I would pick LLC's once again. The throwers are pretty evenly matched. I actually like the Juju a bit better, but then Lou and Frank is just gonna rush over them. They don't really have the DPS, as you mentioned, with the Stu to really go up against them there. They don't really have a proper mid either. The Lou is quite certain in mid for LLC. For Dark Eagles, it could be either Mo or Stu. Let's see what they decide to go with. It's Juju mid, it looks like. Stu, maybe? I don't really know. Well, they managed to get their lane win on the left-hand side. Mo manages to do so. Move up the map now, and they can position themselves a bit more aggressively now. Actually, a great start from Dark Eagles.
On the right-hand side, we see Alan with the ball. He's trying to figure out whether he can move up or not, and finally he does. They dispatch the Reeve being placed down by Xerox, and there is a Laurie being dispatched on the left-hand side, though it seems like Master is getting mastered on this left-hand side by Remiko. Gets taken out by Xerox, so lots of back and forths and charades all around here, Sonny.
Anna coming in now with Frank ult. Tirades and ult again, cycling it on that Lu. So important to get those Lu supers out, just completely blocking off that pass for Master. He does manage to get an ult onto the Frank, gets rid of him. It's a 3v1 now against Remika. Can they actually manage to score here? Doesn't look like it. They're a bit too low here to engage after the Larry also against the Lou. Gregory still standing on the line. It's still a 1v3 though. Remika, the last man defending. This is going to be a goal for Dark Eagles. Again, they're the first to score in this set.
Now it's time for LSC to come back here. They have a minute to do it. Well, let's see how this one does play out. Alan's going to be pushed back in the back lines by Xerox. Farissa is on the middle here, but Master going down and hunting and predating Remika here. Hypercharge being popped by Alan. He should be able to get a stun here if he's careful. Oh, he's able to get a pull instead. That's huge. Now Remika is going to be pressured. Sorry, Alan's going to be pressured by Farissa, gets taken out instead, though.
It's a 1v3 this time around. The red team is standing there with 3 players. Move up the map here, but his 2 teammates are already there. Here, Farissa and Xerox are ready to defend. Anna gets taken care of. Zero can't really do too much on that right-hand side. They only have 20 seconds, now 15 left on the clock to move up the map and do something with it to maybe still get this first game win. But it looks like Dark Eagles is taking the first game again.
Yeah, very well played by Dark Eagles. Master does clear the ball, but it's a bit too late as game number 1 goes to Dark Eagles. Now, LSC Sport really need to pull up their socks, otherwise they're going to be outclassed in the set by their opposition.
We see an overjoyed player here from the side of Dark Eagles. Still very focused on the match at hand, because it's still the potential for LSC to close up the match here, get match point and make it a 2-0. But for now, Dark Eagles lives another game here. They only need one more game and they prolonged into set 3. Pass on to Remika. Farissa gets rid of the Frank, but Zero just moving up here. The 2 teammates of the Stu are ready though, defending him. Xerox falls, but Master catches the ball, and now it's Dark Eagles with the push.
Yeah, Master pushing the ball up a bit far too much to the right, allowing Larry to get a little bit more value than he ought to get. And with Xerox being pushed back, it seems a bit lopsided here in terms of the flank positioning. On the left-hand side, we see Farissa going up against the Frank, but not really getting the better of them as the wall breaks are going to be online. Master goes in, tries to go for a cheeky shot. They're not able to do so. Gets the clean up on both Alan and Zero. And now we get the kill on Remika as well. Master going to be passing the ball up to Xerox, to Farissa. And that is going to be a little tiki-taka for the goal.
So nice to see Dark Eagles. Their mental is still just as strong as it was in the first game of set 1. Coming back strong here into set 2. There's 1 minute 13 on the clock still for LLC to turn things around here, but Dark Eagles is looking just so strong. Remika on the right hand side can't really pick up the ball. Master and Xerox now would be ready to defend him. Remika quite low there. Fall still drops his Lori, and now we have 2.5 players against Xerox on the Juju. Can't really defend that one. LLC even outs the score, and just as I was saying, Dark Eagles looking very strong. Now it's LLC that are in the driver's seat.
Even 45 seconds on the clock. It's still anybody's game here as they're tied at 1 apiece. Master going in. He gets a kill onto Allen. He certainly should be able to get the kill on Zero. Zero managing to survive for just a little bit there, but he gets taken out as is Remika. Master tries to pass the ball, but does clutch up at the end, and Xerox is able to clean that one, get the set for the side of Dark Eagles here, Sunny.
They managed to do it. Very nice to see. Still very focused here on the match at hand. We do have Pinhole Pond come up next, so they still need to be ready to draft.
Yep. Set number 3. We've seen a lot of set 3s today. Usually in most of the match days, it ends up being 2-0s all around, so it's nice to see more sets happening today. So that's something that I'm looking forward to, especially with all the desperation that you have in the last match, in the last set of the day, it's the last set of the match day, and for the tournament for some teams. It's the last time they get the opportunity to flex on the opponents and show the audience that they have the medal, you know?
Yes, definitely true. Let's see if they can do so. Both of those teams are, I think, in the playoffs. We're going to get confirmation at the end of the stream. But yeah, In any case, it would be very important for Dark Eagles to win that one. Then both of those teams would sit on 3 wins, 3 losses. So that would certainly help their case here. And they would also win the direct stand up here if they manage to do so. Let's see. The draft. We head into it with a Meeple ban once again. B and Poco ban out as well as the Chester this time around. So not overlooked from those 2 teams. As I mentioned before, so far left open pretty much, even though I think he's a very underrated, very strong brawler in the current meta. So I like the bans. I think we have a pretty good idea of the current meta after today, Panda.
Yeah, I think that once we move towards the monthly finals, we're not going to have any balance changes till after the monthly finals are done. I think, I mean, at least that would be the sensible decision, in my opinion. But we have, I guess, what, like 3 weeks or 2 weeks before the monthly finals. I think that's going to be enough time to have more consensus as to what the meta is shaping towards. And already we see that, considering that a lot of the bans are similar, a lot of the picked brawlers are similar as well. So it's either that people haven't found or struck gold, so to speak, for the meta, or people have just come to understand it innately already.
We have a Stu with a max, very speedy, very mobile brawlers on both sides so far. Mo worked wonders for Dark Eagles in the previous set, so now LLC want to give it a try as well. I do like the pickup here. It's going to be helped even by the max to go and engage even more aggressively. Janet on the side of Dark Eagles. I don't know if so far they have enough DPS to deal with Mo here. Maybe if LLC picks a tank at the end, they need some more. And Melody, another very mobile brawler, they're just super fast on the side of Dark Eagles with these 3 brawlers, but will they have enough DPS if LLC decides to go tank?
Yeah, that is concerning because we already have a max here, and Mo is quite tanky, especially in the tank form, obviously, because it's a tank. Duh. But the last pick here is certainly going to be the fulcrum of how LLC run it, and they go for Buster. I like this Buster pick so much from LLC's, but I honestly think like I prefer their composition a lot more than the side of Dark Eagles, because with Buster you can just hang around with your teammates. With Max you get the speed, and then you have your super already, and Mo just peppering everybody, keeping them low consistently on all the lanes. I think LLC have a really good idea with their composition.
I was so scared of LLC picking a tank as last pick, and they do it. Of course they do. It was just the perfect opportunity to come in with such a health-heavy brawler. Let's see if Dark Eagles can prove me wrong and have enough DPS to deal with him. So far, so good. They do manage to dispatch Remika. It's a 3v2 situation now. Ala is still able to catch the ball here. Let's see if he will able to do so in the long run. By the way, I say Alain and not Ellen because he's French. Sorry for my pronunciation if that triggers anyone.
I try to say it a lot, but like I feel like with my casting it just kind of detracts. Anyway,
that's fair.
Here we see Master going in quite aggressively with his true gold Melody. He's able to get the kill, in fact, onto Alan with the help of Xerox, and that is huge, as now Farissa is gonna collapse onto Xerox. Ooh, nice and beautiful alignment. Beautiful alignment from Dark Eagles poetry in motion here as we go into the second engage here. Master going in aggressively here with his super, not able to get the cheeky goal. Now Zero is going to be there with a counter play. It's only up to Farissa now to keep them in the game. It's not going to be really realistically possible. They are floundering, but managed to score.
So Stu alone didn't have the DPS, but can we quickly talk about this beautiful goal from Farissa once again? He's just so good on that Stu, wreaking havoc amongst the lines of LLC and snacking the ball away. The Buster was able to defend that one if it wasn't for Farissa. So beautiful. We have a 1-1 overall, though. LLC managed to score themselves as well. We could have a double match point incoming, as close as this match is looking to be.
Master just manages to get the ball off. He's going to be very low. Zero pass the ball out. That's good. Oh my god, it is now match point for the side of LLC. Heartbreak City, Dark Eagles. Oh no.
That dash away was a bit too far from that Melody. Remika looking pretty confident now. LLC with the match point. They only need one more game and they did it again. They win against Dark Eagles 2-1. They did so on match day number 1. it really looks like Dark Eagles has what it takes though to turn things around today, to change the story and get their revenge.
Game number 2 here already. We're a little bit late, but we see almost the entirety of Dark Eagles going down here. They have to respawn, but LC Esport not being able to really capitalize on the control that they won here. Ramika has a super, can't opt to use it. Tries to get a little bit of positioning, not able to do so. Uses the montage right there to keep Farissa at bay. Control still on the side of LC Esport as Dark Eagles being pushed back all the way to spawn.
Very good so far for LLC. Dark Eagles in the first round immediately scored right at the start. This time it's going to be LLC pushed up again. Buster falls first. Melody moves up. Only Ella standing in his way, and he manages to score once again as the first in this round. So Dark Eagles definitely still there. They're awake. They're ready. They're motivated to win this one still. Can they do so though? Hypercharge pop from Master. Is this going to be a very quick 2-0 here? Almost gets rid of Zero as well. Doesn't manage to pass up the ball just yet. Farissa quite low. Can they just walk through against the Buster? They need to be careful if they catch it.
Nice ball placement by Master. It forces Zero to go up, take a little bit more incidental damage. Now Master going in on the left-hand side. It's going to be slightly a bit more conservative with his approach there. They have the control, they have the goal, they don't need to force the issue. Now Hypercharge from Xerox coming online. He is focusing on 2-0, not able to get the kills that he was looking for. That was unfortunate. And now on the left-hand side, we see a little bit of life coming in from LSC as they try to get the kills here. They find the one onto Farissa, and they're looking to capitalize on this opportunity, Sonny.
They're extending in the spawn. Farissa coming out of that as well. They still need to defend. That's all they have to do to take this game and still evade this match point, but it doesn't look like they can get rid of all 3 of them. LLC manages to score here. They are on match point, and they're only 1 goal away to take this match win.
Aid montage coming down from Ramika, 30 seconds left in regulation time. Xerox has a super, not close enough to get his hypercharge just yet. Is opting to go for flight here just to get a little bit more visibility for his team. Ramika goes down to Farissa. It is now overtime. Walls come down, so does the grass, and it is a great opportunity for Dark Eagles to make something happen. But with the speed, we see a lot more aggression coming from LSC. Balls being passed up from Ramika to Zero. Zero can pass the ball back. He does, but his teammate has died by the wayside, and now it is a counter-offensive mounted by Dark Eagle Slutty.
Master with a hypercharge ready. They can still do it. They can prolong it to set 3. They need to win 2 games though of this map. Master spamming the foot twin pin still. Hypercharge comes out of him. Can they dispatch all 3 members? They don't manage to do so. It's actually Master that falls. It's a 3v2 with all 3 members of the red team quite low. Ramiko survives the Janet super. This isn't looking good for Dark Eagles.
That was so close. Ramika gets the ball. He tries to super it in, but Master gets the ball. He clears it. And now it's up to Farissa to keep the hopes alive for his team. Not going to be enough as there's a phase shifter, and Allen is able to score it. And that is going to be the game for the side of LC Esport.
They do it once again. It's another 2-1 overall, so a very close match. LLC take it. And Dark Eagles didn't get their revenge today. It was so close. They did manage to push into set 3, but they couldn't win over LLC. Maybe they get another chance in the playoffs. They are now sitting on a 2-4, 2 wins, 4 losses. But I think it's still going to be enough for them to move into the finals.
Get more confirmation on that for you guys after we get word from the admin team about the situation with all of the scores and whatnot. But I have to mention that I did not expect this one match to be as exciting as the SK and Humble match. It was, I feel like I was as excited for both these matches, especially after the fact. Beautiful gameplay coming in from both Dark Eagles and LC Esports, certainly inspiring. As we take a short 3-minute break before we come back for our 6th and final game of the 6th and final match day in phase 2 of the GKR leagues. Eclipse our Esports versus Schnitzel in about 3 minutes. 2, 1. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the GKR 2025 EMEA Brawl Stars circuit. It is match day number 6. It is match number 6. We have EMEA Esports versus Schnitzel. I am your host, Panicast, joined by the amazing Sunny Enough. Make sure to use our codes PEN and SUN in any Supercell game offering. We would appreciate it greatly. And how are you doing on this fine day, Sunny?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm kind of sad that the season is already over. We only have one match left in our group stage. After that, it's going to continue on April 8th and 9th with the playoffs. This very last match that we've been teasing you about is going to be EMEA Esports versus Schnitzel. Two very unmatched teams, I have to say. Schnitzel so far sitting on only 1 win. On the other side, we have EMEA sitting on 4 wins and just 1 loss. So let's see how well they will do today. Schnitzel, I think they have potential. They can beat even a team that won the monthly finals. I believe in them. The underdogs for the win here. Although if I had to bet money on it, I would probably go with EMEA. They beat them in the very first match day, 2-0 overall.
I mean, EMEA have been having a honeymoon run this past month, with most of their matches across all tournaments being victories. Schnitzel, on the other hand, has had a rather paltry showing in the second phase, and it should be no surprise to anybody that they failed to make the playoffs. But having lost 9 matches across 5 match days, can they ensure that it doesn't cross into double digits? And I feel like that is probably a bigger reason to, like, I don't know, lock in than any other reason. You don't want to get those double digit losses. You don't want to be FA Snigget.
That's just brutal. Why would you do that? They have 1 win after today. They won against IDI, technically.
Technically true. I love the guys. I'm just kidding around.
Schnitzel only has 1 win so far, and it's against Dark Eagles, the ones that we just have seen right now, and they looked so strong today. Maybe Schnitzel can even take it from EMEA. We'll see. We're heading into triple dribble once again. Let me predict the bans here. Ollie is going to be pick their band. We're going to have a B ban. Meeple. What else did we see today? Poco.
Finks being banned.
Carl. Who?
Finks.
Finks, true. He was banned out every single time.
Yeah,
so let's see if we are correct or if we will be wrong.
Perennially wrong. But yeah, I mean, Finks, I've seen it being used a lot in scrims, so I wouldn't be surprised to see it being banned out, actually, because the pick rate is high, but the win rate is also high. But that you could say that for a lot of different brawlers right now as well. We just don't have enough new data, because the meta did change because the balance changes a week ago, so it's still evolving and we're still reporting about it as it happens in real time.
I think triple dribble has been one of our closest hard-fought battles today. We didn't have a very quick game today on this map. The quickest games have been on Pinhole Pond, I have to say, with Dark Eagles just taking it within seconds. Totem had a very quick game as well there. Triple dribble. I think there's so many options you can play here. It's the map there where you can also play throwers quite easily. You can go with long range and just decide to break it open, apart from those 2x2 blocks in mid that are unbreakable. Or you can just go with tanks. Poker double tank didn't really work out for SK Gaming. They tried it on this map. I think if it's not like too obvious that you're gonna go Poker double tank, maybe don't pick up Poker right out of the gate. It could work. Poker actually open here. Okay, we are alert. Meeple banned out, Carl, Chester, so Ollie, the ones we mentioned, Panda. The one you mentioned though, Finks, that has been banned every single round, is left open.
Nice to see a Finks coming out, or the teams might be dropping the ball and not realizing that it might be low-key broken. We have Melody coming out as a first pick. We've seen Melody once today, not as often as you'd expect, considering it was really heavily picked earlier on in the BSC and even in the first few days of the GKR leagues. We have Mo coming out from EMEA Esports and Juju as well. We know how good Mo is in in effect because of all the times we've seen Mo being played today. We just saw it completely wrecking Franks and other oppositions. It's just a very hard brawler to really address, especially in a map like this, in a mode like this specifically. And Max coming out along with a Melody for the side of Schnitzel. I expect a tank, Sunny.
And the tank is here. Your wish is granted. Ash is coming in here for Snitchel. They already have the max, so that makes a lot of sense to me. A great pairing here, great synergy to speed up your Ash, so he can maybe just pick up the ball and rush through. He also has a hypercharge now, so definitely a brawler you need to look out for. B is going to be picked up. Of course, also left open. We actually dropped the Bell Panda and didn't see her being open as well. We did announce her as one of the best brawler, if not the best on this map. So I like both sides here. We have some long range, a thrower, some aggression on the side of Eclipsar, and we have pretty much the same on the side of Snitchel. They don't have a thrower, but they do have a Melody. When she has ult, she can be pretty dangerous for Juju.
I mean, I still am quite perplexed that neither team decided to go for the Finks since it was open. And yeah, us not realizing the B was open was probably bad. This is why we're casters and not players. As we go into game number 1 between Eclipsar Esports and the side of Schnitzel. So far, it seems to be a stalemate in the mid. Neither team really giving up their positions so far.
Juju doing God's work in mid right now. The B on the right hand side is faced up against the Ash. That's definitely the matchup they want to have. Maybe we see a lane switch from Snitchel anytime soon. Adri on the left hand side can push up aggressively into C7, trying not to feed him too much though. On the right hand side, Marco falls. Could be an opening here for Snitchel.
All these name changes are really throwing me off. It's C7 and Dawn instead of Biso and Sabine. I'm not sure which one's which, but anyway, all the way back into spawn is Eclipsar Esports. They're keeping it. They're playing it close to the chest. They don't want to over commit when they don't really need to. And honestly, I feel like once the map is open, it might favor them a little bit more. But now we see C7 going in onto Dompe, but he gets taken out instead. Artery finds a kill onto Marco as well. Now Dawn is the last one alive on his team. Has to keep the members off Schnitzel as big. Surprisingly, Schnitzel don't really collapse on Dawn all that much, and they're going for the late game as Marco is certainly very happy to take that matchup against Melody and finds a kill also.
Great aggression coming in from Snitchel. Every time, again and again, they're the ones with the aggression and sitting in the driver's seat here. Finally, Eclipsar gets out of spawn, but they should be looking more dominant, I have to say. They are the winners of the most recent monthly final after all. And Snitchel doing a lot of work here right now. Adri needs an ult to really go in. Dompe on the right-hand side tries to go and gets immediately dispatched, and now it's a 3v2 with Eclipsar on the run for the ball. Bogdan can't defend that one. That could be a goal now for Eclipsar. Pause doesn't really find its target. It does in the end. Dompe can't defend that on his own. And C7, I don't know which one it is. Either Panda is going to score.
That was very well played coming in from Eclipsar, but now there is a response and they are able to clutch this up. Schnitzel are able to get a response in the last second, and now we move on to overtime as all the walls come down the grass as well. And it is now anybody's match here as Marco is very comfortable in this situation, has a hypercharge, gets the kill onto Audrey. Now they get the pass, they are able to get the kill on Bogdan and score as well. Eclipsar are able to come out on top with game number 1 with 2 goals to their name.
It's only one game. It's not the set yet. And Snitchel honestly looked quite surprisingly dominant. Even though they did lose this game in the end, they had control for most of the game's duration. Eclipsar only managed to get a goal in the very last few seconds of this round. So I think they can win this one. Now, lane swap here from the side of Eclipsar. They placed the B against the Melody and it still works out for them. Adri gets tapped up, has to fall back with him, his team as well, and they all three are now standing in spawn.
Kill on Dompe is confirmed. Now, so does Bogdan go down. Audrey's the last one alive, has to corner the ball. Now his job is just to keep the members of ECP at bay. Otherwise, you're going to be pressured all the way back to spawn, and that's not something that they're looking for. Bogdan has super. That's going to give speed to Dompe if he opts to use it. And we have Rear on the right-hand side with Audrey going down. That's certainly bad for the side of Schnitzel. And Dompe is very low. All that speed didn't really matter, as now Bogdan gets taken out and Dompe is soon to follow suit.
Mark on the left-hand side in possession of the ball. He does push up. They do manage to take out Audrey, and they do manage to score in the end. 1-0 up now, much quicker than in the previous game. Now, they are basically already the winners of this set if Snitchell doesn't manage to get a goal within the next 1 minute 20. But it's Eclipse are moving up once again, getting rid of one, finding the kill on two. And the last two fall. It's going to be Eclipse are running away with this set, Benda.
It is crazy how dominant that Eclipsar is right now. I mean, I say crazy a lot, but it's expected with the fact that they're monthly finals champions already.
Very true. They are the favorites in this matchup, clearly. But can they win in the end? And can they maybe tell us who is who? Subeam and Biso both changed their names. Maybe someone in chat knows. Otherwise, I'm just going to call them C7 and Dawn.
I'm just going to go with that.
That's fair. Heading into Super Beach now. This is the map where I would ban B. Finks was actually left open in the previous one, not picked up. So I don't know if the other teams just overestimated how good he really is on this map, or those two teams just didn't really realize that he was actually left open. We're going to see him maybe on Super Beach. I believe if he's a good brawler on triple, he should be even better on Super Beach.
That does make sense. I mean, it's such a good brawler. I wouldn't be surprised for them to pick it up. But Super Beach, you have so many different options that you can go for. But, you know, with the meta changes, it's still hard to predict. I can predict, though, a lot of the bans, and we've seen them throughout the tournament today. It's been Meeple, we have had your Bees, Lose. I haven't seen a Berry ban, but, you know, all the usual suspects here, Sunny.
Let's see if you are right in this one. We're going to head into the draft in a second. For now, we have this beautiful, beautiful overlay of the map once again. It's a very open map. You can slot the ball in if you have a super through mid. So, yeah, not a very well-liked map amongst the pros because of that. You always need to be aware that somebody could just come in with an ult and score from the midline. But yeah, let's see what we're gonna see here. I do believe Eclipsar should take this one in a 2-0 in the end, but Snitchell looked very good in this last round, especially in game number 1. It looked like they can actually even win the set. So let's see if this set is gonna go their way. They just need a really good draft and they can do it, I believe.
That is certainly true. I mean, I would like to see Schnitzel really, you know, dig in deep and try to find something. It's certainly going to be hard, but at this level, I think anything is really possible. And adaptation is the name of the game. As we go into our draft, we have double B ban, double Meeple ban, a Poco and Ollie. So these are the usual suspects. But that means that 2 more brawlers are available for the pick phase, as we have Melody coming out. So both these teams prefer Melody quite a lot.
We didn't really see Melody in the previous matches. Now in this one, it's Melody again and again. It's a very strong brawler after all. We see Finks for the very first time today, and also I believe for the very first time in this tournament actually. He wasn't quite good in the previous meta. Now with the most recent balance changes, they made him viable. So I love to see how good he really is here in the hands of Snitchell. We have a chest to come out for them as well, so already preemptively picking a DPS brawler in case Eclipsar decides to go with a tank here. Meeple seems to be the brawler you need to look out for right now. He's banned out so often today, probably the most banned up brawler actually. Poco banned as well, so tank strats shouldn't really be too viable here. A thrower on the side of Eclipsar already, maybe Snitchell with a thrower as last pick. Eclipsar, everything could be good here. Stu, a decent brawler.
Pick for the side of Schnitzel. Let's see what they go for here. right now. I mean, the Finks is coming out, so we know that we finally have Finks, I think, for the first time in the GKR League. So we get to see a little bit of those shenanigans with the time stopping and shutting down opponents completely with that one gadget. So let's see how that does play out. I feel like Stu is going to be the biggest target for Finks to get a lot of the value from. And our last pick is going to be red. It's Frank.
Do you like Frank here? We don't really have a lot of DPS on the side of Eclipsar. Melody needs an ult to deal with him. And Stu and Larry, I guess they can deal with him if played right, but it's not going to be too easy. Stu at least can dash away of the Frank, so that certainly helps him. But yeah, maybe Frank is just able to walk through. He doesn't have a healer on his side. I think that's the biggest issue here for the side of Snitchel, that they can't really support their Frank. But Finks in mid, I'm really eager to see how that goes down. I haven't seen a competitive match so far with this brawler, so I'm super excited for this one.
Yeah, for sure. As we go into game number 1 of the second set here, and a little bit of a stalemate in the mid, but Brodon's just walking up like he can. He is the sponge after all. Kill on Marco is going to be confirmed by the side of Schnitzel as the ball is being passed up to Dompe. Dompe not in a great position to make a goal happen. He gets a kill into Don, but not is Marco is able to ensure that he plays goalie.
Larry on the left-hand side against the Frank so far doing a lot of work. Frank quite low, has to fall back with it, his teammates. As soon as one lane falls or goes low, the whole team has to retreat. Laurie comes out of Larry. Bogdan pushed back even further. Audrey now with an ult in mid. Can't really use it too much though. Placed it a bit too defensively, I believe. On the right hand side, their lane falls. Marco falls to Audrey though. It's a 2v2 now. And so far, not a single goal has happened. Everything is open.
Don going in very aggressively. Oh, manages to miss the mark there. Gets taken out as well. And a little bit of a reset going to be happening here. Though a little bit more control on the side of Eclipsar Esports. What is that red thing? I'm so confused.
Which red thing?
Oh, that's the gadget. Never mind.
That's the... yes. That's where he would teleport to if he presses his gadget. Going back in time. We have done with his 3 notes now. Only Audrey still left standing. How strong is Finks really? He has to defend here. 1v3 does fall. Doesn't use his super. Chester has to defend alone as well. All 3 of them just switching position here. All 3 of them have to defend alone. And in the end, it's not enough to stop Eclipsar. They managed to slot that goal in, and only 30 seconds left on the clock for Snitchel now to turn things around. They need this goal, otherwise it's going to be a match point for Eclipsar.
Stun, but Frank gets taken down. Oh, triple. Okay. Frank gets taken down, and now C7 has to push the ball back. And now it's not looking good for Schnitzel with 14 seconds left on the clock. It's looking like we might just have an Eclipsar match point already on our hands. Dompe is able to get the kill here with his hypercharge onto one of the members. There's a kill onto C7. Now Bogdan can pass the ball. No, it's not enough time. That's heartbreak for Schnitzel as the side of Eclipsar take the dub, and that's match point.
Did Bogdan just... I don't know if there would have been enough time if he managed to actually pick up the ball. It looked like he turned around a bit too early. I don't know. We need a replay of that, please. But yeah, in any case, Eclipsar with the match point now. It's 1-0 in the first set. They did win already, and this one is going so quickly. I think that had a huge impact on the mental of Snitchel right now, that they didn't manage to score that in the end, even though they had the biggest chance ever.
I think that, yeah, it certainly affected them mentally. Getting into a situation where you might have been able to win if there was one more second, it just feels bad in that situation. But lots of trades happening, a flurry of them, in fact, as Marco and Dompe go down as well. Now C7 versus Audrey cross lane, and Dawn pushes the ball back. He tries to go for a cheeky play there, but Chester is there to pick up the slack along with the super from Audrey to slow all those shots down. Left-hand side, we have Bogdan with his super, opting not to really commit onto this Larry just right here. He is probably close to the hypercharge, which is why he's trying to farm that Larry. On the right-hand side, we see Dompe going up against the Lori? And there's a kill on a Dawn here, and Marco isn't able to clear the ball. That is certainly a Schnitzel goal.
Triple takedown was needed for Snitchel to finally score. They do manage to do so. It's now 1-1 overall. Still with a match point sitting in their necks. Snitchel feels the pressure, but they can turn things around here. Another stun come out. Only the Lori gets stunned. Frank still tries to move up here. Falls to the Melody in the end. It's a 3v2 now. Melody with hypercharge ready. This is dangerous. Thinks he's the last man standing. This is going to be the last goal here, probably, for Eclipsar. Frank can't defend that alone, and Eclipsar are the winners of the last match. Match day 6 is over with. This is concluded, and congratulations to our last winners of the day, Eclipsar Esport.
Eclipsar Esport take that dub and put the final nail in the coffin that is FA Schnitzel as we say goodbye to that team. Eclipsar Esport going to take the dub here and they move on to the playoffs. We are still consolidating all the information and we will give you the final standings of all the teams in a little bit here. We're just going to be waiting on the admin team. But what do you think about the match today? How do you think it went, Sunny? I feel like we saw some amazing matches today, and the teams really showed up today to compete. And I felt like some of the matches were much more exciting than I probably thought. So I feel like me as a person, I need to give more credit to some of the teams. Sometimes we just write teams off for various biases and whatnot. So it's nice to see that there are moments where you're shocked by how some of the quote-unquote lesser teams perform. So that's really great to see.
I mean, we didn't even look at the caster predictions at the start. I think it was pretty unison, honestly. Most casters decided that this is going to be the way the match turned out to be, and in the end it was quite close. The first two matches at least were 2-1, then Dark Eagles versus LSC was a 2-1 again, so a lot closer than what we could have expected. Coming out of match day number 6 now, I do believe we're going to have a banger playoff where some teams could surprise us heftily. I do think we have two very strong favorites here, SK Gaming and Humble. They're very evenly matched as we see. SK Gaming wins the first match day 2-1. Now Humble takes this match day number 6 2-1 against SK Gaming. So yeah, those two teams could be our finalists, but honestly, everything is open. I have my eyes also on Papara Supermassive. They look super strong. LSC Esport also quite up there, and Totem still could make their redemption run here. We're gonna have confirmation later. I do believe Reverso and Dark Eagles are going to be qualified as well. I hope we're going to see a graphic in the end where the top 8 teams are going to be shown. But yeah, again, I think there are some teams that could make a miracle run in the playoffs and rush through all the way to the finals. And just talking about confirmation, Panda, we do now have our final 8 teams.
Yeah, we do have our final 8 teams. It's SK Gaming. We also have some fixtures apparently. So for day 1 of the finals, which is going to be Tuesday, then the next Tuesday, I believe that is the 8th. We're going to have Reverso versus SK Gaming, Eclipsar versus Reply Totem, Papara Supermassive versus LSC Esport, Humble versus Dark Eagles. I'm looking forward to the second match. Oh, that looks so tasty to be Sunny.
This image is going to be burned into my retina. Keep in mind here, we have a seeding. So usually if you did very well in your group, if you're at the top of the leaderboard, like SK and Humble, for example, you're going to face off against the ones that are a bit weaker. So SK and Humble both sitting on 5 wins overall, and Dark Eagles and Reverso only on 2. So those 2 teams, or those 4 teams, have to match up against each other. But then the second match is gonna be Eclipsar versus Reply Totem. I didn't think that would be possible, but Reply Totem just didn't look as strong as expected. They're sitting on 4 wins, Eclipsar on 5. So yeah, sometimes that just happens, and 2 of the most well-known teams have to face off against each other in round number 1 in our playoffs.
That's kind of crazy, and congratulations to these teams to make it to the playoff stage. It's not easy. Obviously, you had thousands of teams participating in the qualifiers to 12 teams in the phase 2, which was the double round robin, and now we have the double elimination bracket. So it's only 8 teams, but if they lose once, they still have an opportunity in the lower bracket, so it's not all over. But on the first match day, we're gonna play some of the upper bracket matches, and we'll go from there. Honestly, I have to mention one thing. SK Gaming didn't even qualify for the second phase. It was a combination of some of the teams pulling out because of certain reasons, where SK Gaming were even able to participate as a team which was just playing caretaker for that one position. They were on a wait list, and congratulations for them from going to that position to qualifying at the top seed. And once more, I would like to bring attention to the sponsor, Smilky, because without our sponsors, these sort of events and tournaments would not be possible. So if you're in the market for some kind of protein supplement or a shake or whatever, Smilky might be an opportunity for you to try something new.
I still want to try it, Panda. We didn't get the chance to because we don't live in Spain, but maybe we get to in the future. Thank you so much for your support. Otherwise, this wouldn't be happening, this GKR League in Brawl Stars. I hope it's going to be staying around for a bit longer. I want to talk about something else real quick. As you just mentioned, SK Gaming didn't make it in the qualifiers. Eclipsar didn't either. The teams that made it through the qualifiers, for example, Snitchel, didn't make it into the playoffs. That's heart-wrenching, honestly. But yeah, see you next week. As you can see here, stay tuned and mark it in your calendars. April 8th and April 9th are our playoffs. So yeah, make sure to take this, mark it in your calendar, make a big circle or a little smiley or whatever you want, a little heart, whatever you connect with Brawl Stars, and be sure to tune in once again. It was a blast as always to cast alongside you, Panda. One more week to go, and then we're probably not seeing each other again for like a year or so. Who knows?
2 weeks and I get freedom. I get freedom in 2 weeks, guys. Oh my god. You don't even know how bad it is. It's not even 2 weeks. It's like 10 days. I'm sorry, but I hope you guys have had fun. I've been Panda, code Pan, that's Sunny, code Sun. Make sure you use our creator codes when you're buying the Brawl Pass, which is coming out, the Brawl Pass Plus, in a few hours. We would greatly appreciate it. Use any creator code, that would be great as well, but obviously we're a little biased, you know, for that. But thank you so much to the viewers, the fans, for participating and showing up today. We really appreciate all the support, and without you guys, obviously these tournaments wouldn't even be a thing. So thank you so much, and we will see you guys in 6 days. That is the 8th of April for the finals of GKR, day number 1.
I'll remember that slander, Panda.
Oh yeah,
Watch
for sure.
back.
I'm gonna slander you even more, Sonny. You have no clue. Bye guys.
I'm scared now. Bye-bye.